Hello, welcome to Team Fortress TV. This is the second show match, NA versus EU here. We've got Team Ascent, as before, coming up against TLR. I'm Sideshow. With me is the big man of North America, Gecks himself, coming over to cast this show match. And we have DavidTheWin on the camera. Gecks, how are you feeling about this epic show match between these two teams?
Oh, feeling great, man. Feeling great. I didn't even realize we were going live right there. I didn't have my dual monitor setup going, so I didn't see our DavidTheWin give me the cue here in Mumble. But I'm ready to go, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Should be great games here. Two of the best teams in the world. So I'm pumped for this one.
Absolutely, that's what we do have right here. We've got two of the best teams in the world representing their respective continents. Team Ascent, of course, from North America. TLR, I think I'm right in saying currently at the top of the tables in Europe, but who knows? There's three teams in Europe now that are you couldn't separate them with a whisker. And Ascent, I think, also top of ESEA after they beat Froyotech in what was really quite a surprise upset recently on, I believe, Sunshine, which is going to be our first map, Gecks?
Yeah, it was Sunshine, and man, it was one hell of a game, dude. It was so cool to see finally somebody taking down Froyo. It's maybe just an indication of things to come, maybe coming up at LAN, or at least we know it'll be good matches over there at LAN. So it was an awesome game. As you said, we will have Sunshine here for our first map. Second one, I believe, is going to be Badlands, and third, if we need it, will be Granary Pro. So we got a good lineup of maps here, two good teams, and should be in for a good one here.
Absolutely, and as you say, it's going to be a preview of things to happen at I55. Both of these teams are going to be trying to make it there, but they do need your help. So if you could pop over to i55.tf, you can have a look at these guys' fundraisers. Throw your text up there as well, but they have actually reached their target donation, $6,110 for them. Then and TLR are the ones that still need your help. They need about $500 each, which is really, really reasonable. I think we could probably hit that by the end of the show match. Do you think, Gecks?
Oh yeah, we can hit that. I know, if I know this community well enough, we can definitely reach that, and some, maybe even. So we're definitely gonna hit that. I feel good about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ascent currently on 91%. They needed $6,000, and they're so very close. TLR as well. Only need about $357. Oh, sorry, euros, isn't it, for the TLR fundraiser? I've become all Americanized. But they are very close as well, and that's mainly to get Shadowburn over, who is the Russian player, the Russian roamer for TLR. And he is just a phenomenal player. I'm looking forward to seeing him zero ping. He plays on 60 hertz as well, which is just my mind, the fact that he can be so good with such an odd setup. But another thing that we have before we go live with this game is some stats, Gecks. So these can be a little temperamental, and we haven't really used them much. And because these two teams don't actually play in the same league, they actually run off two different systems. So we'll see if we can get something going here. I think DavidTheWin is gonna be trying to get these up on the screen. I'm gonna click, and hopefully it will work. If we have a look at the Ascent one first, and we can run through the roster at the same time as having a look at some juicy stat. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Pray that it works. I don't know. I clicked the button. Hopefully it should work. Maybe DavidTheWin will give me an indication in a second. But I can see it. Apparently DavidTheWin cannot see it, so I will keep clicking this in the hope that it eventually works. Let me see. How about you run us through the team roster while I fiddle with this?
All right, yeah, let's go through it here. Of course, over on the side of Ascent here, you have TheFragile over on Medic, and then you have Rando, who is going to be over on the Big Pocket Soldier there. Badonsky up on the Demo Man. Decimate and Shrugger are your scouts. It's a lethal scout combo. And then you also have Mela, who's on Roamer as well. So a pretty solid lineup across the board from those guys. Oh goodness, I see things flashing all over the place here on my little overlays. Not sure if you guys got that whole setup there on the screen of Ascent, but anyway, that's what we're looking at over there with those guys. And how we looking here? Sideshow? Still working?
It's looking good for DavidTheWin apparently, but I had to close mine in order for David to see it. And apparently,
Okay.
whenever I try and load it up, it lags David's PC. So if you, I did see them before, but I'm afraid I can't recite all of those statistics off the top of my head. So if you run us through some statistics,
Yeah.
I'll sit here as if I'm an avid radio viewer and try and have a listen as well.
All right. Well, if we take a look on over at some of the stats of these guys, Bonanski's been putting out, some pretty big DPM for these guys, and Decimate and Shrugger as well just do absolute work. Shrugger getting in there aggressive. He's got lots of med picks throughout the season here. 31 he's sitting at, and of course, Mela does that work as well over on Roamer. But, Shrugger and Decimate can be such a lethal scout combo. Mela does so well getting in as Roamer, just finds every which way to get behind the enemy team, it seems like, but he also puts out some pretty good stats as well. 39 med picks, as I said, and definitely something for TLR to be on the lookout for when Mela's out there on the field. But none of these players are lacking in any departments here. These guys just all put out huge frags, huge stats across the board. The Fragile's a seasoned veteran medic here. That guy, only 4 drops this season, and we're almost into the end of the season here, so very solid there from him as well. So you got a pretty banging team here over on Ascent. They just took down Froyo, and they're looking hot right now. They are looking very, very hot.
They are indeed. They actually lost the previous show match to some sneaky sniper gimmicks out from Nerd Rage, but they'll be definitely wanting to prove that they are not inferior to the European teams by any small measure. The Europeans got absolutely spanked at i52, and it is essentially the same Froyo tech, and these Ascent guys, they're going to want to be on that level or even above. Like, they've proven that they can definitely step up to the plate that Froyo tech are swinging from. So I think we'll have a look at the TLR stats and see whether these EU scrubs can even contend with the might of Ascent. Okay, let's see if the European one is slightly less temperamental. I'm going to open it up now, and let's see if it does anything on David's side. I've got it. I wonder. Let's see. Yeah, David says we're good. We're good. So I am having a look at this roster. We've got Serotonin on Medic. He's new to the scene, but he's come in right at the top. I think he played Div 2 before or something like that. So if for any American viewers watching, that's kind of like mid or low IM, I guess. So he's made the step up to the absolute pinnacle of the European scene, and he's doing very, very well for it as well. Heiss is kind of the kingpin of this team. He makes all the calls, he leads people, he organizes the team structure around himself. Following him up in the combo is AMS, or AMS. He's going to be playing Pocket, previously played for BK, very good DM. And he is joined by Shadowburn, the Russian legend. If you've ever seen any of his frag clips and you're not amazed, there's something wrong with you. The guy just hits the most incredibly ridiculous shots, and as we were saying, playing with ping from Russia and on a 60 Hz monitor, so to see him at LAN would just be phenomenal. The scouts for this team, Herr P and Nico, whose name on here is Nico God's Hand, which is just a slight measure of the arrogance this has, but he's an excellent player as well, so you can't take anything away from him. The scout combo, pretty scary, to be honest. I think on a good day I would rate them higher than the Ascent ones, but there definitely is a big potential in this TLR roster for not playing up to what they would like to, for kind of missing their mark, and we haven't really seen it yet from TLR in Europe. They've been playing pretty well, but they haven't really been tested that much. So I think this will be another one of those tests where they really have to step up and perform as well as they can if they want to win this.
Yeah, that's maybe a pretty good indication for things to come. Of course, you're also dealing with the ping barrier here as we're, not on land yet. But, it's going to be a big test for TLR. Also a test for Ascent in the same right there, for both teams. I think it's going to be a real solid game. I'm pumped to watch those scout duos on both sides go at it. you know, on these, kind of see who can come out as the better of the scout duo on the day. Of course, really solid ones on both teams, so it'll definitely make for some awesome gameplay here. You got two sick rosters, two awesome teams, so I think we're definitely in for a good one here, Sideshow, and we should probably be almost ready to go here soon. I think we're just waiting for one more over on the side of TLR, so anticipation's killing me. We're almost there.
Yeah, I'm really having a look. We do have the Mumble comms for both teams, so I'm just looking to see who joined Mumble, and I can see that it seems like they may be using a Merc there. No, actually, he's disconnected, so they do have Silentes joining the Mumble channel and just having a talk to the TLR guys, and since we're missing Amps in the server, I was wondering whether Amps is having some issues with his connection or something like that. They possibly might be requiring a pocket Merc here, but Silentes is he used to play for these guys. Actually, he used to be their roamer before Shadowburn joined, but left because he didn't particularly want to commit that much time to the team and wasn't having fun playing with them. But he always preferred a pocket role anyway, so if he does end up mercing for them, that won't be too much of a downgrade. He does have phenomenal DM, but we'll have to see what's happening here. We are just waiting on that last player from TLR before we go live with our first map, CP Sunshine. Gecks, what do you think? How much do you think the pings will play into this? Is it just going to be an easy game for Ascent, given that they're on 2 American servers?
Well, I mean, you have to imagine it's going to favor them. You know, it's not as big of a deal for the hit scan classes. Definitely, it's going to affect the scouts the least. Of course, anybody that's played the game on all the different classes on different pings know that it's definitely not as going to be as big of a factor for the hit scan, and things definitely going to favor Ascent here, since they have the 2 American server favor there, that NA favoritism there. Love it. You know, it's definitely going to be preferable for them, though. I don't see any reason why TLR couldn't snag this game from them. It certainly maybe get annoying at times. It's going to affect those, you know, those projectile classes much more, make it annoying. I don't see exactly how much these guys are working with on TLR. Low 100, so that's, you know, that's not terrible. Certainly would be enough to piss me off if I was playing, but you know, these guys I'm sure are used to it. They're so good at the game. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the whole point of this show match, right? Is to show you how good this is, but it could be so much better on a LAN environment where it isn't a factor at all. Just to rattle off some pings here, because the people on the stream, I believe, can't see them. The Team Fortress HUD doesn't have them on, so the people on Ascent's roster generally sitting around fairly low pings. Rando and TheFragile on less than 20 ping, both of them, but they do have those West Coast players, Benonsky and Decimate, sitting on an 85 and 100 respectively, so they pretty much have the same pings as their counterparts on TLR, really. Everyone sat on between 90 and 130. Shadowburn the worst on there on 133, but he is hailing all the way from Russia, so that is a phenomenally good ping in my eyes, given where he's coming from, but it shouldn't stump them too much, I don't think. The interesting thing is that the map picks, I think, here really favor Ascent rather than TLR. Ascent have that skill on Sunshine, and Granary is such a projectile map that TLR are going to be playing with a big disadvantage, so we'll have to see how that works, Gecks, but we have gone live with our first map. This is the show match E versus NA, number 2, Ascent versus TLR, and we have gone live with our first map, CP Sunshine. I'm Sideshow, with me is Gecks, and he's going to take us to our first middle.
Let's check it out. Demos are in there. Looks like Ice is actually running loose cannon to start things off for TLR here. Mail has already gotten up top on the roof here, going for a bomb across. Got some rockets off. That's going to be Heist going down. Nico as well. That's 3 players down for TLR right now. Shadowburn coming back in for a bomb as well, but couldn't manage to find anything with that. Scouts denying him, and Serotonin did, well, they're trying to get out, but they have a bombing Podonsky in behind them. Serotonin very hurt right now. Can he get himself out? Herr P is just going to delay to keep his medic alive there, but Ascent is going to come out on top of that mid, and they are already on into second.
Yeah, I really like that play out of Herr P, actually. He shepherded shepherded Seroton out of there perfectly, and now Nico's going to get the first frag onto Decimate as they try and block this. They do have a small Uber disadvantage, around 10%, but it's definitely going to be enough for them to hold on to second here. Ascent not trying to prod in through that choke point quite yet. Actually, TLR going to be the ones to make the move forward in through the choke point. Shadowburn jumping down the right-hand side, trying to get onto Mela. Whiffs the air shot a little bit, but Ams has found the frag onto the Demoman, and that's really going to open things up now. It's 6v4, and they're going to be trying to punish Mela and Rando on this right-hand side. Ams, though, really weak, will go down, and Herr P as well picked off, so Ascent starting to get back into this. They've popped the Uber off as well, and they're going to be chasing people down.
Seroton didn't pop his Uber off, though, and they're down 2 players right now. Still need to be careful as they are continuing to aggress onto them. Seroton took that damage, and now they're forced to pop it off. Nico's having a battle inside a cafe there, got shut down by Mela. Shadowburn did exchange with Mela there, but he is very hurt inside of the cafe. Needs to be careful. TLR starting to back off here. Shadowburn still trying to get himself out of there. He did manage to squeak out of it, so both teams had to pop off their Uber, and actually TLR kind of shifted over towards this valley side over here on the flank. It looks like Heist is quite hurt as well, and Herr P is going to go down. Shadowburn with a bomb. He got in on the Fragile, came out of the cafe right across the mid, and I didn't even see that one coming, man. He just flew across that mid, took down the Fragile. That's going to leave Seroton with some pretty big ad right here.
Yeah, and a lot of hurt players on Ascent. Let's have a listen to the TLR comms and see how they're going to push this.
Nice.
What's for hiders? What's get back there?
Scout and say
Nothing here.
Oh, in the cafe,
Scout
Scout
shark.
and demo. I'm coming to mid now.
Watch out,
watch out.
pushing the
Sticky's on top.
Sticky's on that back.
Oh, fuck.
Shit.
I didn't realize.
Get the point, get the point.
Sorry,
Don't overstand.
I'm not extending, dude.
Up in one.
Come back.
you guys have advantage. Just wait for Shadow.
We're gonna lose a better guys once. Let's go.
They push that in through Cafe and then lose a person to a sticky trap, but they've managed just to get control of mid there, really, without Ascent trying to contest them. They didn't throw anybody in for a force onto Seroton, and Seroton actually calling at the end there will have lost our advantage as well. Fragile's building incredibly slowly. I think I do think that was a bad call, but also the Fragile just whiffing them a little bit by building super slowly here. Is only just getting his Uber charge up now within the next 5 seconds, and they did actually have a huge opportunity to push TLR.
Oh, they did. They had a huge opportunity. Didn't capitalize on it, though. So now we're looking at even Ubers. TLR is still just sitting inside of this mid, though. Ams is working in a little bit. Seroton's moving through by himself there. Needs to be careful. But they're going to send Ams in for a bomb. Got a good rocket off, actually, an air shot, too, on Badonsky, but he ends up falling down. So that's going to be a forced Uber out of TLR right there. Ascent still hasn't had to pop there as Fragile surfed the rocket and popped in the process, though, so they do have a much better Uber here. Shadowburn's going to go down. Herr P fell as well. That's 3 players down for TLR right now. They got to back up. At least try and keep Seroton alive. It's taking so much damage, and the stick comes through from Badonsky, so Ascent is going to grab Seroton there. They're still down 3 players. TLR make that 4. Ascent is going to have some big Uber advantage here, though Am's trying to maybe get back in. No, not going to have much room here, and that's going to be Ascent. Probably going to be able to move in to second here quite easily, though there is a sniper up. It's Herr P on sniper here. Ascent's got to be careful.
Yeah, he's just taking shots off from that balcony area, but a swarm of Ascent players coming in trying to chase him out there, and Shadowburn is going to be the first casualty. A return frag onto Decimate, make it 5v5, but the Fragile has that Uber advantage, and they're going to be able to take lobby here. Oh, they get a pick on the flank as well on Ams, and that's really opened things up. They're going to have their Uber charge up, but Nico's in behind them. He's in behind on the scout, actually comes in off Shrugger without being seen at all. That's going to possibly delay them a little bit, but in my opinion, that was a bad trade by Nico. You need those defensive classes up more than you need the offensive classes up. Here comes Rando leading in the Uber charge, trying to fuck down Herr P, but he can just switch class. They focused him down a lot, and he was inside the spawn door here. This might not be a great push, but they have just played the point straight away. That's what they needed to do. Seroton still 10 seconds away from his Uber charge, and that's the first round in favor of America.
There it is, and it was pretty rough for TLR from the start. I mean, they had maybe an opportunity to kite that, but they lost a couple players right at the beginning, and then they got just trapped inside of that spawn as they were trying to kite the Uber. So we're heading into the second mid here, see if TLR can get themselves back on track here after losing that first round. They're working their side quite heavily. Shadowburn's going in for a big bomb right away. Couldn't get any damage off onto the Fragile, though. He should fall here in just a second. Oh my goodness, TLR just getting destroyed on this mid right now as Serotonin trying to get out, but just got sandwiched in between a few TLR players there. So the wipe has come through, and that'll be Ascent picking up this mid here once again.
Yeah, completely destroyed by the Rando and Mailer double bomb. Rando jumped onto the little shed area, and Mailer just hit a beautiful rocket right onto Heiss's head so that he couldn't surf away. So he was stuck. Easy pickings for Mailer there, and Rando finished off a scout as well. And then Shadowburn did nothing with his bomb. It was a car crash of a push. Now they've got to defend without an Uber, and the Uber is going to be coming in from Ascent. Let's see what their lineup is. They've got Nico on that heavy playing back in the door, and they've got Herr P going to be playing forwards as the Pyro class. But the Uber charge is going to come in from that left-hand side. No casualties as yet, but Shadowburn's surely going to go down there, and this isn't looking good here for TLR. If they can group up and do the damage to the heavy, actually, he's still on 300 health. He might be able to hold this. Everyone else is so weak, but Nico's taking a bit of the aggression. Mailer in, though, and he does pick off Serotonin here, and that's going to be no heals, and it's going to be an easy pick off the point for... Oh, no! Herr P! Oh, there we go. The double donk. Oh, he's going to be so mad about that. But Donsky loves that loose cannon and just comes in with the double donk at the end there to silence Herr P.
Oh man, I so thought TLR held that off there for a minute, but then just that big play from Mela, man, came in on the backside, got Serotonin, and got some others as well, and just what looked to be TLR holding it off. Ascend eventually comes through to pick it up here, so it's going to be 2-0. Let's see if TLR can maybe win one of these mids here. Mela already on top of their side towards Cafe. Badonsky will be the first victim here, and actually Serotonin got an arrow into Mela, who was trying to get in onto them, and now that's going to be just two players left alive for TLR right now. Nico and Serotonin both trying to get out over on this flank side. They do have Rando chasing Decimates coming in as well. They are hunting these guys down right now. Serotonin may get caught out. Can he get out in time? Surf the rocket, but the shotgun got Serotonin right at the tail end of that. Once again, Ascent wins the mid, and they keep the Fragile alive. Got Serotonin. They're going to have some Uber advantage once again.
And the position of both of their scouts here is just perfect to deny anybody going aggressive onto the Fragile. The Fragile on that really low ground, but they have to fight against two scouts. They have to jump up onto the high ground against Sugar and Decimate if they want to get anywhere near this American medic. And the Fragile is not taking any chances. He's going to have his Uber charge, and they're going to move into last. Let's have a listen to their comms, see how they're going to approach it.
Sniper left, sniper left.
I'm really hurt behind you, so just...
Alright, we're gonna pop here.
Okay. Do they have a sniper scope?
Heavy far right.
Just play him point.
Get on point.
We pop.
Yeah, just focus heavy. Heavy's hurt.
Heavy's this way.
Easy! Easy! Guys, this game is so easy!
The BM coming out there from Ascent, 3-0 already, and they are wondering, I bet they're wondering what went wrong with the Nerd Rage show match then, if they're finding TLR so easy. But TLR definitely need to find some way of making their soldiers more effective, because Shadowburn and Amps, whenever they jump in here on the mids, they get absolutely nothing done, and Heiss as well, quite an easy pick, so they're going to have to turn things around. Rando in on that belt, going to be able to take off Shadowburn, but Nico's gone in and got a return frag there. Players flying around all over the place, but it looks like TLR actually coming out on top here. Shrugger's going to go in and get the frag onto Heist, but it's only Badonsky left alive, spamming loose cannons from the choke point, and this is exactly what TLR needed to turn things around. Amps is in. Oh, what a rocket! The air shot onto Badonsky there to take him out as he tried to jump away. Fantastic stuff. TLR just turning things around, and they're such a momentum-based team now that you've got to expect them to pick up this round fairly easily and go into the next one full of confidence.
Oh man, they should be able to grab this one nice and easy. Man, that was a monstrous shot coming out there. That's exactly what you need to get yourself back into this one here. Great mid. Now they have big 80% advantage here. They've gotten themselves onto the catwalk trying to get into lobby here. They do have Decimate, who's going to be up on Sniper. And they also have a Pyro up as well. Shrugger's going to be on that, but they popped it in over on this far right side. That's going to be Ams and Heist Bowls going down here, but they just focused the point. Nobody came out to try and stop it from Ascent, and easy pickings there for TLR, and they make it now a 3-1 game.
Yeah, they are in it. We have a game on our hands. These scouts from Sugar and Decimate, though, doing so well for their team. On that last mid-fight, they were incredibly effective at picking off the Ascent players when aggressive, and I think that's exactly what they need to do if they want to have success on this mid-fight. Sugar already across the point, and Mela deep down that left-hand side. He's actually just trying to bait in some aggression from the TLR players, I think, but Shadowburn is the first casualty. TLR have got decent position, but Ascent are just mopping them up, getting damage everywhere. Heist on his own now is going to get taken out, and this is bad here for TLR. They've got to think about getting out. Herr P is going to be running away, but Ams is in. He's going to try and get onto the Fragile. Whiffs that second rocket and isn't able to pick frag. That was so close, but that crucial rocket just at the end there when Fragile was on 70 health, and he just flew one right over his head. Ams will be kicking himself about that.
Oh yeah, that one hurts, man. I mean, at least both medics survive there, or at least I should say Serotonin survives, so they are going to have at least an Uber to defend this last, though they've managed to kind of get into second and bleed off a few players here. Rando actually tried to get in there, but Heist will take care of that one, so they're waiting for these spawns to come back in from TLR here. They did get one. Shadowburn still waiting on 5 seconds here, and they want to take this in, try and go even here. Both teams down a player, both the Ubers getting popped off as well here. No frags coming through yet. Ascent actually backing themselves off here. Just kind of bit of a reset. I don't think they're going in for a repush as of yet. Just kind of stalemating off a bit here. They went in and just decided to back themselves up. So we see a little bit of a reset here for the time being.
Yeah, they're going to be holding in lobby here, Ascent, and TL are going to be trying to prod into them on this right-hand side, but Heist is incredibly low there. Herr P taking a ton of damage as well. It's Ams and Nico as well, prodding on that bottom lower ground, trying to get a pick onto one of the scouts that's poking in. But both of these teams just going to be posturing until they get an Uber charge up. Hopefully nobody is going to die in the meantime. I've actually spotted that Rando is running the direct hit. I don't know whether you saw that either, but there's 2 frags already for Ascent. Sugar and Mela getting them. There's the pocket drop though, so that's the direct hit out of the equation. And actually Heist is doing a lot of spam damage on that side. Serotonin only on 99% now, but will get his Uber charge up before it comes in. It's 4v4, but this here are going to be slightly favoring Ascent if they can get into the fight quickly. A lot of damage coming out of the TLR combination, and they are going to be wrecking the Ascent team. Pushing forward now, only 3 players left alive, and 2 of them were respawners, so the Ascent positioning is just opening the second point up to being capped here from TLR. They're gifting them it, but they look like they want to repush.
Yeah, they're poking around here inside of the choke. It was still a great hold there from TLR. Got that Uber up just last second. Serotonin almost didn't get it, but being able to get it right at the end there gave them a much better Uber overall. Allowed them to hold that point. Now they've pushed out to second, so we'll see what Ascent decides to do here. They have a 10% advantage, not anything that they can really work off of, so we're going to just kind of be stalemating for the time being, at least. Ascent's holding a bit further back inside of this mid right now. Fragile was all the way over towards Cafe. Maybe just trying to get that Uber first, but they do have it now. Both teams have it, and we'll see how Ascent ends. My goodness, Shadowburn got launched!
I think that was a double dunk hitting him from Badonsky in that choke point, and he just got slammed backwards, 141 damage, and he was already jumping on the high ground. So they've managed to pick up a frag onto Nico as well, given that the Shadowburn wasn't there to defend him. So they're going to be pushing from this flowers area. Rando taking the Uber really deep here, just a single, but picks off Heist. That's a terrible pop coming out of Serotonin, dropping his demo man in the middle of that, and that's all position here for Ascent. They're going to want to hammer this home and take a round off it. They need to be going fast here if they want to pick up these frags. Herr P out of position, Shadowburn down already, and it's 3 players left alive to try and defend this. They're only now just starting the cap though. All of this cap time is been completely wasted by Ascent. They might allow TLR the time they need to get the spawns in. They have, and they're picking up the frags, and suddenly it looks a lot better for TLR. They're going to be getting their spawns in quicker, and they're going to be able to retake the second point if they position themselves correctly.
Oh man, they just had to cap it there, Ascent, and they didn't. You know, they were kind of hunting down the frags. Ooh, Heist taking a good bit of damage. He backs off, but you know, couldn't quite do it. Oh, Soldier coming in. Am's actually trying to get on the Fragile. Couldn't quite find him, though. And that's going to be 2 players down now from TLR. Actually, 3 are down for them. And they also have long spawns as well. A bit of a miscue here, possibly. They're going to be up on this Uber in just a second. They still have 2 players that have 10-second spawns. TLR does. So Ascent now trying to work themselves in here. They pop the Uber off on that right side. TLR is going to counter pop here as well, but they're down 3 players. They're starting to get the spawn, so they can definitely hold this one off. The health from Ascent not too hot either. The Fragile quite hurt here. He got the surf on that rocket and managed to stay in the fight. Ascent kept hammering that point and got the frags as well. I thought TLR was going to be able to hold it there for a second, but Ascent just a bit too strong in the end, and that sets us up at a 4-1 game.
Yeah, Heist is really overextending in this game as well. He's trying to get the damage out. He does a lot of damage to players, but then he's trying to get the frags as well as all of the damage. And he really needs to just play back and allow his soldiers or his scouts to mop up that damage. Either way, this is our 6th mid. He goes down instantly right at the beginning, actually, trying to get that damage out again. And Shrugger just picks him off so easily. Rando for a deep bomb in, but now the TLR players are just swarming forwards, trying to get onto the Fragile, actually. But Ascent, so good at just picking off this aggression, and Mailer's come in behind. This is looking bad here for TLR, but Shadowburn might be able to rescue it with the help. Nico's going to try and get onto Mailer. Oh my god, he gets the escape plan kill!
Oh my god, dude, Shadowburn just went nuts on that mid, man. I think that was a 5k out of him on that mid. 6k from Shadowburn on that mid. 130 ping. Who gives a shit, man? That was awesome. 130 ping don't matter for him. That
130 ping, 60 hertz monitor. Can you imagine this guy at LAN? i55.tf/TLR for the fundraiser that they're running to send Shadowburn to LAN. I am so hyped to see him there. Unbelievable. A 6k playing with 100 just blows my mind, and finishes it off with an escape plan frag. Unbelievable. Let's have a listen to their comms and see how they want to push.
I'll go.
Just give me buff.
Got close.
Watch the sticks. Watch the sticks.
Turn on right. We scout, guys. Behind.
You ready?
Right, we need to go.
Let's go clear the soul. Nice, Shadowburn.
This is it. I'm walking that side.
I'm in.
Medic weak.
Demo's really weak in lobby.
Med weak under.
He's dead.
Nice.
Keep me alive. Demo that side.
Got weak. He's dead.
Demo
Nice
on back left.
Nice.
I'm on the pack.
Yes, chase. All go left. All go last. I need the elf.
I'm sticking left door.
Soldier spawned. I only him.
Damage at 60.
Move away.
Nice job, guys.
Let's go, guys. Yeah, 10 minutes.
I feel so useless. It's a
No,
break.
don't. Just like we.
Ams feels so useless. He is playing there with 128 ping, nearly as bad as Shadowburns actually, but he is hailing from Finland, so it's really not that far away from Russia, to be honest. Heist is going to be fast to this first mid, and do you believe in the comeback, Gecks? Is it possible?
Oh man, I believe in it. They gotta have some momentum coming after that round there. That was a huge round from TLR right there. Let's see if they can keep it going. Starting with this mid right here, Rando's gonna jump. Am's up top there, outside of the cafe. That's gonna be 2 players down. Actually, the Fragile goes down for Ascent, though. They're striking back with frags of their own. It's a 3-on-3 right now. Both medics are down in the fight, but they're coming straight back through here. Ascent, they finish off Ams, Heist, and Herr P to pick up that mid there. It wasn't even 3-on-3, but Ascent comes out on top of that one.
Yeah, it was the end of the fight. There was a 3-on-3, no heals for either team, and they were both really, both teams were really healthy, but they couldn't find Rando, TLR, so they were trying to focus down Shrugger and Decimate. Both of these players much more difficult to kill than the Pocket Soldier, and then Rando came in behind and just hit 100 damage on everybody in 3 rockets, and it was just so easy then for Shrugger and Decimate to clean them up. So they just needed to find the frag on Rando before they killed the scouts there, but they just didn't know where he was. And now both of the Uber's going to be equal at around 70%. Rando's just going to try and dry pushing through the choke point here. Ascent playing so aggressively, giving no respect, but they're going to get punished for it here, actually. TLR just entering them into the meat grinder. Badonsky trying to escape as the last player alive is going to get out on 79 health there, but he's being chased down by an aggressive Shadowburn. I don't know whether he's going to survive this. Badonsky's going to pick up a health pack, but Shadowburn's onto him, 48 health. Oh, just misses that last rocket.
Oh man, yeah, a little cocky there maybe from Ascent. I mean, they were just trying to go balls deep on that choke side. They're very aggressive and just gets shut down for it. Now that gives TLR the opportunity to come in here, though. Decimate up on Sniper, got Ams over there by that shutter as he went for the peek on it. We'll see if TLR Looks like they want to take this in from the underside here, maybe. That's at least how they're going to enter into lobby here, though. Shadowburn goes down as well. That's 2 players down from TLR. That cues the push from Ascent, and they actually force that Uber out of Serotonin as well. But they're going to be inside of the last. Some of the Ascent guys are still yet behind inside of that lobby, but they got themselves back in here. We're looking at a 4-on-4 fight. One more goes down from Ascent. That's actually a 3-on-3 inside of this last point here. And Hams is going to jump right back in here to try and save the day for TLR, but they're getting that time onto the point. The damage is out there as well, and TheFragile just had the heals inside of that last point to keep his teammates alive as Serotonin had gone down, so they managed to hold off the push there from TLR, and TheFragile is going to have a full Uber here to push back into second with.
Yeah, they're going to be pushing from the top left, but Herr P is sniping at the moment, sniping from all the way back there. He does actually have a tiny little angle on TheFragile, but misses that as Heist goes down. It's not looking good here for TLR to defend this point, but let's see if Herr P can work some magic. Oh, Ams actually straight in there. And was that a drop on TheFragile, or had he already used he'd already used his Uber charge, but even so, Medpick is just going to open this up so easily here for Ascent. They're going to be, for TLR, sorry, they're going to be able to come back in here and recap this without any problems. Given that Herr P is on Sniper, though, I may have called this a little too soon. Decimate, 22 health, but there's just no finishing power when you're running a Sniper there. I think that was a big miscalculation, and TLR are going to pay for it.
Oh, they sandwiched him there, man. That was such a great play from Ascent. They had Mela go all the way through in Cafe. Decimate pushed in from that flank side, too, and they just sandwiched that combo of TLR there inside of that mid demo, and Medic just came in from both sides, and that's going to be Serotonin down now. They have TheFragile up, though. Only 3 players alive from Ascent at the moment, and they're over towards this shutter side. They just got their spawns back in here, but they don't really have too much room to get back in, actually. Nico comes and gets Badonsky, trying to find Fragile as well, but he pays for it. The spawns came through, and he will go down.
Ams is already in behind them. Ams is actually getting down to 30 health there, TheFragile, but can't actually finish off the frag. There we go. Herr P runs in and gets it, and I'm kind of in awe of how TLR are playing here. They're really not adapting themselves to the ping at all. They're just still playing their game, and they've got both of their scouts really trying to make a lot of room. Like Nico's just running in as much as he possibly can. Herr P playing a lot more aggressively than he normally does as well, but in the situation where your soldiers can't really make that space and you're the most effective class, I feel like perhaps Nico and Herr P would be better playing more passively and just getting these frags up as the finishers, you know. But I don't know, it seems to be working out for them a little bit. 6.5 minutes remaining, the score 4-2. They only need 2 more rounds back, and Serotonin's got his Uber charge up. Let's have a listen to Ascent and see if they're quivering.
They're cafe right now. Soldier dead, I'm dead. Scout on the top.
I'm in shutter.
I'm down.
They're
Scout and
scouting
J.
lower.
Scout and J, yeah.
3.
I don't know if he's committing to you.
He's upper J.
We're spamming.
Someone's
Cyrus destroyed them on point.
Well, I mean, no one's there. Someone watching lower.
We're 2 down. Be careful here.
I'm up in 1.
We have 90.
You want to push on this?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. We need someone to watch last, though. Who's that going to be? Call it now.
We're gonna go top left.
I'll watch last.
Okay, Moves is watching.
They're holding point.
There's a bunch of points.
I'm distracted.
We popped.
Scout going.
They're getting out to
The Soldier's
cafe.
trying to go left.
Yo, I need help last setting.
Soldier's
I
low.
can't hold this alone. Scout's
we have
raped.
people.
Scout took 100. I'm fucking raping him.
I'm capping.
The Soldier's on.
Oh.
There you go.
Nice.
The back cap attempt foiled there though by Ascent, and they came out with that. That was a fairly good push. They managed to use their Uber aggressively in, and Decimate got a few frags, and then when they went for the back cap, everyone streamed back to help Mailer as well. Really good comms actually as well. I'm a lot more impressed with them than the last show match. They seemed a little bit dead in their comms, but it's really clear, it's really effective communication coming out from this American team, and I really like the teamwork and synergy that we're seeing, but now they're facing a new disadvantage, Gecks.
They are. TLR's trying to work in here. They are going to pop that Uber off inside of the choke. Players getting bounced around, juggled around there inside of the choke, but Ascent just got destroyed out there on that second point. Banonsky was the only player to survive on that fight, and you already have TLR inside of this last right now, just stuffing them right back into this spawn here. This will be an easy peasy round here for TLR, picking it back up off that last push there. 4-3 it is. They're within 1 round, Sideshow, and 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Can they do it?
It's absolutely possible here, but TLR's mids have been probably the worst part about their gameplay, so it depends whether they lose everybody on these mid fights. I don't know really whether they should just try and play a lot more passive and just bait in some aggression from Ascent. If they get the frags, then they commit to a mid fight. If they don't get the frags, then they back off. It's 4-3 at the moment. It's incredibly tense. It could go either way. Here comes Mailer in with a big bomb. Again, finding his target. Heist and Serotonin, the first casualties. Rando giving his life for it, but it's looking so much better here for Ascent. As long as they keep the Fragile up, Amsi is coming in, looking for that medic frag. Oh, and he's just about to get it. Oh, he does actually find the frag onto the medic there. Decimate and Shrug are not able to defend their medic.
You know what? That's at least going to keep TLR in this game, though, because, I mean, Serotonin had gone down there. That's actually going to give TLR some advantage moving forward here, too. About 30% or so, maybe. So, you know, that play may have just saved TLR in this game right here. It'll give them an opportunity to push back into this mid with the advantage. And, you know, if they can take it on into last, they can certainly tie this game up. But time is of the essence for them, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's going to be the trouble right now, is just playing the clock. So we'll see if they can do it. They're going to be up on this Uber here shortly.
They're definitely going to be pushing here, and Ascent know that it's coming. They've got a 30% disadvantage, and they are sitting so passively. Neither of their soldiers in a position to really force, but they're just going to use this spam, and Serotonin with such an early pop here. TLR are going to be very hard-pressed to find anybody, trying to push people in, but nothing happening, and they've got to expect this repush now. The Fragile will be rubbing his hands together in glee.
Yeah, they are getting themselves back in right now over from this cafe side. That's going to be Rando jumping in. He found Heist. Herr P is going to go down as well, though. TLR comes back with 2 frags of their own. Ams goes down. Shadowburn and Nico are actually both behind them right now on Ascent's second point. They may be able to get this cap, too. No, they came in with just enough time. Shadowburn's going to go down, and Nico should be falling here shortly as well, but they at least held up Ascent for a little bit there. Now they're going to get these spawns. They got the forward spawns as well, so they may be able to press the issue on this midpoint as well. Nico is somehow still alive back here on that second point.
Nico's delaying everybody, and he actually took a 1v1 and won against Decimate, but they couldn't push forward into mid because Nico could have just backcapped. The point so nearly capped on that lighthouse area, and now they've given so much room for TLR to come in behind. They're going to be wanting to pressure in here before Ascent get their Uber charge up. There's another 5 seconds before they get their Uber, but they're giving them the lighthouse control, and if I'm TLR in this position, I want to send some players in to force the Fragile before they get the spawns up and have everybody there to defend the Fragile. So they should be playing people in now. They should be putting their heels onto Amps and Shadowburn and going for this force. Instead, I think they're just waiting until both teams have their Uber charge, and they're going to go for an Uber v Uber trade. 1 minute 40 seconds remaining. Gecks, here comes the Uber.
TLR coming in from under right here. They did force out that Ascent Uber as well after Shrugger took a lot of damage. Though Bodansky and Decimate are both down right now. We may be seeing the repush come back in from TLR once this Uber fades, and it has now. So TLR starting to work themselves back in maybe from this upper right area. No, they backed themselves off right now because they had lost a few more players, but they're going to have to move quickly. They have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Get these spawns and think about getting back in here. It's going to be a tight one, though. Mail actually falls right at the tail end of that one. Ascent trying to get some room, maybe back out on this second point, but both players concede. A couple more of their teammates, they go down, and Decimate's still in here on the second point. Shrugger's going to come back out as well from that lobby area. Got a lot of damage out, but couldn't quite find the frags, though. Ascent's dropping players as well. TLR getting in from this right side. They're going to pressure this cap right now, but the respawn's coming through. Just destroy TLR on that cap now. Serotonin's got to try and get out, but he's going to fall as well.
Play by Mailer and Shrugger. They know that their medic's gone down, and they have to push there for the frag onto Serotonin because there's 40 seconds remaining, and he was about to have his Uber charge, but he was on about 60%. All they had to do was delay that. I thought Ascent were going to throw it, but it looks like they're going to be able to retain control here in a 4-3. TLR are going to be forced to push back in, though. Only 3 players left alive, and their spawn's nowhere near Gecks. I think this is it. Can you hear the fat lady singing here for TLR?
Oh, I can. She's got her voice warmed up. The chorus is just about to come. I believe that is going to be an Ascent win right there, 4-3. TLR so had the opportunity to take that one, or at least to tie it up, but Ascent played it well, man. You gotta give them credit. They played it well, but I mean, TLR gave them right there just a hell of a game with their pings, you know, not exactly on point either. And this is a pretty good map for Ascent too, so TLR definitely giving it to Ascent there in that game. I'm very interested to see how the second map goes.
Like you, I am incredibly impressed at the performance that TLR just put up because, as you say, playing with a ping disadvantage on a map that Ascent beat Throw Your Tech on, so possibly one of their better maps, if not one of their best maps here, Sunshine, and TLR come in with a horrific ping disadvantage and almost tie up the game there in the dying seconds. I don't think that was a throw from TLR though, just at the end there. I really do think that was an excellently played defense from Ascent. They pushed when they had to push, you know, they didn't bleed players on the pushes out. They rotated their scouts back to deal with backcaps whenever Nico and Herr P tried to get behind. It was an excellently fluid performance on defense there from Ascent, and they just won themselves that map because of it, and that was a fantastic performance. Let's have a look at the logs before we go on to the next map. Oh, I think I need to change it as well, actually, because nobody else has the Archon. So I will whip up the logs if I can find them hanging around here. And,
I believe that we have them in Mumble here.
Ah, you have them in Mumble. Delightful.
Yeah. DavidTheWin, he's on it, man. Yeah, he is dead on it. Well, let's take a look at it here. I have the stats up here at least. We'll see who was doing work here. Let's see who top fragged in the server. Decimate with 37 kills. Nico had 30 as well. He was second to top frag, but Scout's doing work for both of these teams. And if we take a look at some of the DPM here, Heist got around 300, 294 from him. Bononsky sat at 278 on that game as well. But, you know, these Scouts on both teams are definitely doing some work, you know, for their teams respectively. Really, they both had great games. So let's see. Nothing of huge. I'm trying to pick out the stats here. Sorry, folks. We're also trying to get everything set up for the next game as well. I saw you guys talking a little bit about for the EU server. I'm gonna need to grab that info then Sideshow whenever you. Whenever you have.
Don't worry. I am just trying to get the teams sorted because, of course, they have to switch over to a different server now. For the second match of the show match here, we're going to be using a European server. I believe it's a French server, just because the Americans get better ping to that, but the West Coast players are going to be getting somewhere around 200 ping, so it really does favor the EU teams. I'm really anticipating quite a one-sided game on the EU server compared to the NA server. The NA server is much fairer when you're using the East Coast North American server, so we should still have a good game in tow, but it will be completely on Ascent to really step up and provide a fantastic performance if they want to make it close. So I'm just having a look at this. I'm going to try and give the connect info to both of these teams. I'm just going to dive into their Mumble actually so that I can give it to them, and I will give you the relay information as well.
All right, awesome. And also, while we have a little bit of time to kill here while we're waiting for it, there was also the heals from TLR are quite interesting from that game. As I look at the logs here, Heist actually got the most heals on his team with 26% of the heals, and Herr P got 21% of the heals on that game, which was the second most from TLR. And Ams and Shadowburn both, they were near the bottom for heals anyway. They were 20 and 16 for their team. I mean, it's still pretty even distribution, but it's interesting to see Heist grab all of the heals from TLR.
And Herr P as well, 6,000 heals on a scout is utterly ridiculous. I mean, that's a crazy amount of heals. He got more heals than Bodonsky, than Mailer, than anybody on the Ascent team other than Rando. And let's have a look at Herr P's stats. He didn't even have that good of a game. I think he did fairly well, but really, if you're going to be getting that many heals, I would expect a bit more of a performance from Herr P. He does play that kind of very pocket passive scout role, but yeah, perhaps they needed to rethink where they were distributing their heals, and they would have had a better performance at the beginning of the game. Ice as well overextending a little bit, but Ams and Shadowburn really found their style in the last few rounds, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You know, we saw it definitely get a lot more crisp for TLR towards the end of that one there. They definitely had a shaky start to the game, but really started to show what they were made of as it went on, and still put up a hell of a match, really. And now I think they can certainly take this second game here, when they're cool on all their pings and stuff, it should make it a lot easier for them. If they gave him that tough of a game, sitting with 100+ ping, to see them down with even less ping, I certainly think they can take this map. So I think regardless, we'll probably be in for a good one, but should be getting that soon. Badlands is our second map, folks, for our best of 3 here today. Of course, Sunshine the first, Ascent taking that one 4-3. Badlands is our second, and then if we need a third and final map, it will be over on Granary Pro. So we'll have to see what's in store.
Yeah, so Badlands is going to be the choice from Ascent, which is interesting, I think. They're going to be favoring quite a scout and demoman powerful map. So really, soldiers here not having a huge boost. It's not a map like Process or Granary where the soldiers are really quite important. The soldiers, you can kind of just sack them in for room and have your scouts do all of the work. So I imagine that Decimate and Shrugger will be the ones that Ascent choose to have carrying their team. I can see them trickling into the server right now, so we're going to be going live with our next game fairly shortly. I think, Gecks, let's have a look over at i55.tf where the fundraisers currently are sat, and let's see if we can read out any recent donations. I saw a few little donations trickle in there. Hildreth donating €10 to the TLR fundraiser. Thank you for that. I can't actually see anything but the most donation from the TLR fundraiser since they're running it through I'm Raising instead of Indiegogo, but we'll shout out some some people who've donated to Ascent as well. Shout out to Sidestep TF2 for the donation over there. Head over to i55.tf, guys, to donate and see these guys at LAN at i55 in Coventry in late August. It's about the 28th of August, I think, and TFTV is going to be bringing you some sick coverage of the best teams in the world playing on a LAN setting where ping is not a factor.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an awesome event. Definitely make sure all these teams get here, guys. Any support you can give is certainly appreciated from all people involved in this event. So it should be an awesome event, man. I'm so pumped for it. It'll be my first time going over there as well. Get to be casting with you as well as some others. So
absolutely,
it's
we're
gonna be a
all
fun time,
hyped
man.
for that. Yeah,
Oh,
it's going to be absolutely incredible. I mean, to have the professional NA caster over as well to fill the boots of Admirable is just going to be such an improvement. Who wants Mr. Potato Head there if you can have Gecks? So that's going to be a fantastic event. I'm so looking forward to seeing everyone, to meeting everybody there. I'm so looking forward to meeting the Ascent guys there, actually, because I haven't seen that. I've been to I-46, I-49, and I-52, all 3 of the international TF2 World Championships that we've had over the past 3 years, but I haven't met many of these guys from Ascent. In fact, I think I've only met Shrugger, if I have a look down there, so that will be a brilliant thing, and then to see these guys compete over the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will just be phenomenal. I-52 was so good, and this is looking like it will be even better, even more competitive.
Yeah, man, I think we're in store for a really good event. Seeing Froyotech, the ability, seeing them get beat was just, for me, it was like a lot of fuel. Not that I have anything against them, but it was just so good to finally see somebody take it to them. Ascent beat them, and it shows that they can be beaten. I think everybody knew that. It was just somebody had to do it, and now we're gonna see these guys go at it on that LAN environment, see if anybody can do it there as well. I mean, they're still certainly, I think, the favored team in the event, or one of the most favored ones, of course. Such a strong team, and they have so much experience coming for them. But all these guys are hungry. Every team involved is hungry for the win, man. And I think it's just going to make for an awesome time. So I'm pumped for it. It's going to be good stuff.
Absolutely. I think Froyotech going into this event, given that they're the world champions, that I think have won something like the last 8 LANs that they've attended. It's something crazy like that. They won I-52, they won GXL, they won, is it 3 SEA LANs in between then? It might not quite be 8, but it's something crazy. They have just been such a dominant force in this game for so long now, and I think we're just starting to see the emergence of teams that might be able to usher in a new era here. I remain hopeful, but also Froyotech have just shown that they're so good in a LAN scenario. I mean, in a way, these online losses or show matches and things, they don't even speak about the LAN capabilities of some of these teams. There's always the LAN factor to take into account, and I think Froyotech definitely the firm favorite from in my eyes for the guys to take it at i55, but that just makes it even more of something that these guys want to attain. You know, it just makes the prize even more worth having.
Oh yeah, certainly. And as you said, that the LAN factor is very, very big. It's a totally different ball game compared to playing online. So you know, we'll have to see. That's the real test for all of these teams is playing on LAN. You know, you can win games online, but LAN is the real test. So we'll see. See if anybody can take it to him. Like you, I definitely think Froyo is the favored team to win the whole thing. I think they definitely have the best chance, but really any of these teams that we've been watching here have the capability of beating them. So that's the best part about it, is any of these teams can beat them. It's just, you know, are they going to bring it on that LAN environment?
Who can turn up at the event, and who can really bring that that performance that's so much better than what they've showed previously. All 6 of the or 12 of the players actually are in the server right now. We're going to be going live incredibly shortly with this. This is the second EU versus NA show match for i55. i55.tf is the link for all the fundraiser goodness. We want to bleed your wallets dry if we can possibly. We got a ton of donations last time we had this show match, and it was very, very much appreciated by all the players from Ascent and TLR, and they are here now to show you what they can do at i55. It would be fantastic if we could get both of these teams there competing on even footing, and we are going to be going live with our second map, CP Badlands, very shortly. I think we're just waiting for I think they're actually just waiting for us, so I'm going to pop into their Mumble channels and just tell them that they shouldn't be waiting for us. We're all ready.
Yeah, man, we are ready to go. Oh, looks like they're ready to go too. They started it up. So.
Oh yeah, they just went. They just went live as I went in. So brilliant stuff. Let's have a look at our first middle then, Gecks.
Let's do it. So here we are, second map, CP Badlands. And we're heading into our first mid right now. Shrugger's already moving up all the way over towards that shithouse on the Ascent side. Malo's gonna go in for a bomb as well. Got rocked though. Herr P just denied him left and right there, and that's going to be 2 players down for Ascent right now, and they're actually all down on the low ground as well, the Ascent players. They just have to back up, and that is going to be a couple of players chasing. Heist is going to go down, is actually able to get Shrugger after the death there with that loose cannon, but TLR picking up that first mid.
Yeah, that's such a terrible chase by Heist. I don't know what he was thinking of doing. He sticky jumps into Resup in order to try and double dunk a medic or something, and Decimate just looked at him and kind of goes, right, well, I'll take that frag then. Easy Demoman kill. So it doesn't really stunt them that much. TLR are going to be able to move into upper lobby, but they've lost their pocket here. This is a decent forward hold with a lot of spam coming out from Ascent. Serotonin actually got forced really early on as well. Fragile still has his Uber charge up, and the Uber has literally done nothing. They're going to be able to regain or gain control of upper lobby with it, but now Ascent have an opportunity to push out.
Yeah, they're gearing up for it. Actually, the double donk came through from Badonsky onto Heist there, so that's going to be Demoman down for TLR as well. Ascent pushing back out onto this second point here. Shadowburn still down there. He's very, very hurt, though. Needs to be careful. I think he was waiting for an arrow, but he's going to die. And Decimate was... Oh, yeah, actually, the back cap coming through from Nico. Holy cow, man. I didn't even see it. He just managed to squeak the whole way in behind him there. That's going to be TLR picking up the first round.
Yeah, and that's so unlucky there from Ascent, because they really didn't deserve to win that TLR. They just got Nico in behind after a car crash of an Uber charge, and then a really bad defense on Spire, and they just snuck Nico in from the drop down. Never mind, second mid, and Ascent are going to be feeling a little bit robbed, but they need to do better on these mid fights. They're coming up the shit house now. Shrugger going to be flying in, meeting with Ams in midair, but it's Heist who's the first casualty. This is going to play into Ascent's hands here, but Shadowburn is ready to jump and deal out some damage. Serotonin's going to go down. It's all up to Shadowburn here. Can he manage to pick up the medic? Everyone knows where he's going to go. Everyone knows who he's going to be aiming for, but he still managed to get a really nice rocket onto him. Couldn't quite land the second, but I feel like Ascent have kind of got a bit of a grip on what TLR were doing on mids already. Heist was such an easy pick for them there.
Yeah, and TLR, they had such bad health towards the later part of that mid, and they were still trying to fight it, and then just got crushed. I was sitting there like screaming in my head, like, just leave, just leave. They had such bad health, but I think at that point they were already just kind of committed into it, and we're probably going to die anyway. So that's good mid coming out from Ascent there. They're going to have some advantage here to work with as well. They're sitting inside of that upper lobby. See, they should be taking it in shortly here. It looks like they're gearing up for this upper left push. There is a pyro up there, so they send the scout on through as well. They're still not able to find him. Finally, Herr P goes down, but he did a good job of denying much of that Uber, though. 2 players from TLR down right now, and they're taking damage as we speak, but they are managing to hang on to this one. It's a 3-on-3 on this last fight right here. Shrugger goes down as well. Only 2 players up from each team here. Heist down on the bottom. Serotonin got the arrow onto Podolsky. Serotonin's got to save the day, but it was just Mela there on the point. Mela versus Serotonin, Soldier versus Medic. Not the best of battles, but that is Ascent coming right back there in a 1-to-1 game.
Yeah, and this is looking incredibly close, actually. Closer than I thought it would be on the European server. The ping's so bad here for Ascent, and so good for TLR, but they're really not playing that much of a factor. TLR still having to get into it. Heist playing so passively on this mid-fight, sticking up his own shithouse. Oh, double A shot coming out of Shadowburn there onto Rando. He actually stays alive, mopping up all of those heals from the Fragile, though, and that's going to put the health advantage firmly in favor of TLR. Everyone's so weak here from Ascent. They just need to finish off these frags, and here they go, just raining down into the spawn queue. Wow, what a play.
Holy cow, man. Shadowburn, this guy's a monster. And Ascent, they were still sitting on that low ground. They were just chilling down on that low ground and just got crushed down there with a great mid from TLR. They have a full ad right now. Full ad to push into this last with. They just got their spawns ascented. They had wiped, and now they got their spawns. So they take this in upper left. TLR, let's see. Ascent backs off into spawn. They only lost Rando here, but there are sticks on the point. They sent them blasting up into the sky there, but they were able to pick up that round anyway. TLR, they came straight on through there. Textbook TF2 from them right there as they take a 2-to-1 lead.
Absolutely. I think we should have a listen to the Ascent comms here as they try and get back into this and recover from that smash-in by Shadowburn.
Sure.
Blame the 102 ping.
They keep going choke, but they're just being pussy.
Soldier's gonna jump.
So does Hurt at a choke. He jumped away.
Scouts hurt too.
They're fucked up on our train.
The soldier up.
I'm dead. Scouts on our train.
Then we'll take gate. Soldier jump.
Meds destroyed. Scouts took 100.
Scout chasing you.
Damn, boys.
I loved listening to these comms. Ascent really having a lot of fun here. Fragile right at the beginning said blame it on the 100 ping. So the ping is obviously having an effect here, but they're doing an incredibly good job actually as well. The mid fights and all of these pushes have been really close. Ams overextending there straight into Rando and gets taken down, but Donsky's gonna go as well, Gecks.
Oh, that's got to be the cue on the push right there for TLR. They have the advantage anyway, and they just take it in upper left once again. They did get some of their players back out on the spawn here, but they only have 3 up. Serotonin's on the point. Easy finish off there from TLR. Just more textbook TF2 from them, getting the wipes on the mids and just taking it straight on into last. 3-to-1 it is now.
Yeah, they are going to be going to this mid fight. Let's have a listen to the TLR comms on this mid.
I think they're going to go
P,
slow.
I'm going balcony.
Okay.
Okay, demo across point.
Then point, yeah.
Demo's weak.
She's down.
Demo down.
Should I smoke? Should I stick under?
Got dead.
I'm still on
Should I
side.
duck? He's weak.
I'm on fire.
Got under. One sword dead.
I'm dead.
Got dead.
Nice.
So
Nice.
He's done.
Yeah, well played, guys.
Let's go forward.
I want the points, man. The points.
All about the base. About the base.
So Herpy wanted those cap points, man.
He wants those points, he wants his stats beefing up, he wants to look fantastic in those logs, but Nico is currently beating him in terms of points on the server. 2 dominations as well, Nico playing very well, and they're going to want to push this Uber into last. Let's have a look at the way that Decimate's positioned, and Mela, but Decimate's got that, they're all clumped up so much on this top right hand side. If Decimate doesn't deny this Uber, it's going to do so much damage. They're actually coming in from the other side completely.
They do pop it in here. Let's see what they can do. They're pressuring that point. Nico's standing on it. Decimate's going to go down there and take care of him. Ascent actually holding this one off for the time being. Only 3 players left on each team right now, though. Each team loses 1 more yet. It's just Mela left here. He's got to try and hold off these last few players, but Shadowburn just had to stand on it for a hair of a second to finish it off. So that is a 4-1 game right now for TLR.
Yeah, it was looking so even at the beginning, but then TLR have just really come back into it. They seem to be winning all of these mid-fights and then getting in on last fairly easily as well. So let's have a look at this mid-fight and see what's going so well here for TLR. I'm looking at Badonsky in Valley. They're again going for this aggressive shithouse push. Maybe it's just predictability.
Again! He just denied Rando again. He tried jumping him up on that balcony. Oh my god, this guy is a monster. Ascent's gonna wipe out here once again. TLR picking up another mid. Sorry to interrupt you in the middle of that one, Sideshow, but I saw the air shot and I couldn't hold it in.
Absolutely, the guy's just incredible, isn't he? And just seeing him on LAN with 0 ping and a 120 or 144 hertz monitor is just going to be insane. He's going to be destroying people left, right, and center. He's actually hiding in trash right now. He's going to go for a bomb on the Fragile. He's in onto him as well and gets that frag. Again, this Ascent team, as they try and contest the Spire, are just going to get crushed here, and they're already in behind. Shadowburn and Nico already going to last here, and the Ascent team has not even realized that Badonsky, the only player. Oh, Badonsky might actually be able to clutch it himself. No, Nico gets that frag. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Badonsky bought enough time. Great play.
Very, very good play. I was worried for Ascent there for a second, but they managed to make it work, though. Now they've lost 3 players that were extended up at that Spire right now. They have some kind of long spawns, too, and Serotonin is up on that Uber right now, so they have some big advantage to work with back in here. We'll see if TLR can finish it off. They're getting ready here, just waiting for all their players to get back up. They have a good bit of time to work with here, so there's no need to rush it. Ams is actually just going to go jump straight in. They actually were running on crits. I didn't see it, and they're going for it here. They're destroying Ascent on this last point, and that will be another round for TLR here, making it a 5-1 game.
Yeah, only 1 round required here for TLR to take this to the win in Europe, and i55 we're going to be playing to the Mercy rule, so if a team gets 5 rounds in the lead, the game ends with them victorious. Shadowburn with such an aggressive rollout! He's going to be all the way in their house already! He actually picks up Podonsky on 1 HP! What is going on here? I don't think Ascent have ever seen somebody do that against them. They looked utterly bamboozled. They didn't have a clue what to do, and what a collapse there. That was such a good rollout by Shadowburn. I don't even know where he went, but phenomenal stuff.
Oh my goodness, man. I want to go back and watch the replay of this or something and see what the hell he just did, because that was crazy, man. This guy is please get this man to land, people. Get him here. We gotta see him on the 0 ping. It's unbelievable. It looks like TLR right now has already gotten a couple of frags here. Rando and Strucker both down for Ascent. This could be the nail in the coffin for Ascent. At the moment, they're down 3 players, and Herr P's gonna go ahead and get on that point right here, but the counterpot did come out from Ascent, though it's just 2 players left alive, TheFragile and Mela, and they're gonna have a hell of a time trying to hold these guys off right here. They're just collapsing straight onto them, and TLR gets the cap. And that will be the game, 6-1.
It would be the game, except I accidentally messed up the config, so there is no win limit for these guys. So they have realized that they've won the game. It is a victory here for TLR. I just messed up the config, so the actual logs and stuff, the actual game itself won't end for a while. But yeah, the final score 6-1 in favor of TLR here.
Whew, man, they laid the beat down on Badlands here. I mean, of course, we are dealing with these ping differences, but TLR, regardless, man, laid a beatdown. They're 6-1 final score here on Badlands. So our third map will be Granary Pro. as our decider in this game. We'll see who can come out on top of that one. It's going to be an NA server as well, so Ascent certainly has the upper hand here, at least in the ping department. So we'll see what they can do here. But we're switching servers, and we should be getting you guys that third map here soon.
Yeah, we're going to be going to our third map very shortly. It's actually going to be on the previous server, and we do have the logs, thankfully, because these teams aren't as stupid as me, and they realized that that TLR had won when the score went to 6-1. So don't worry, guys. Not everyone's as dumb as me in the TF2 scene. We do have some competent players. There we go. The game's ended on the STV now, and we do have the logs as well. So I'm going to have a quick look at the logs whilst all the players transition back to the first server, and we'll be using all the same relays and stats and things if you want to connect to them, Gecks. And I'm going to have a look at these logs, and Shadowburn topping it off on the damage. He's playing Roma, right? He's playing Roma. He got an insane amount of kills. He went 13 for 7 and did 340 GPM on that map. He's just playing it out of his mind.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Look at that, 341 DPM. That's topping the server there, and well, he just pretty much destroyed him. So you know, all of TLR looked really solid in that game, though. If we take a look, Heist was putting out 300 DPM as well. I mean, just by looking at these stats here, you can see how just commanding TLR was in that game.
Absolutely. And I think, have a look at the KADs as well, which DavidTheWin's just pointed out to me on the scouts. So have a look at Herr P and Nico's kill assist to death ratio, 9 and 6, and then Serotonin there with 6 of his own as well. They're just not dying. 2 deaths from Serotonin, 3 from Herr P, 4 from Nico. Nico's playing the aggressive scout, and he just didn't die. The scout's just always there in order to clean up. And I mean, the ping disadvantage is going to play a huge role in this, because everyone from Ascent was on 100 ping, and then there was Badonsky and Decimate sat on around 180, whereas everyone from TLR sat on about 20 or 30 ping, because the routing through Europe is just incredible. It's really good. So when we transition back to the New York server, which we have done just now, the pings are going to be much more even. They are going to be favoring the American team, but only slightly compared to the EU team, compared to the EU server, sorry. So we're going to be back to having a super close game. It's not going to be so easy for TLR anymore, and they're going to have to see whether they can produce a win or a draw compared to the nail-bitingly close, but in the end, a disappointing result they had on CP Sunshine.
I'll have to see, man. Should be a good third and final map. As you said, the pings are much more even on this server, so it's definitely going to make it, I think, a much closer game than that Badlands one was. So, you know, we saw Sunshine was a beast of a map. You know, really tight, really good game. So this should, I would assume on Granary here is going to be just about the same. I think we're in for a really fun game to watch. So that'll be coming up here soon. We have all the players inside of the server, just waiting for the map change, and we should be getting started. Yep.
That's me again. Every time, because I'm connected to the STV, and this game was made back in the depths of time, I have to connect via Archon to the IP, then I have to connect to the password, and then I have to change the map, and it's all 90 seconds in the future, so it's very delayed. i55.tf though, again guys, that's the whole purpose of this, is to bring in these donations. They're so close, so close to reaching their targets. It would be fantastic if we could get them there by the end of this. We will be shouting out all the donators as well. That's Ascent and TLR's fundraisers on i55.tf. Go and have a visit of them, check it out, see the perks. They've got some great perks over there, and open your wallets, blow off the moths and the cobwebs.
Yeah, spend a little less money on the summer sale and help these guys out a little bit, you know. No, but shout out to Weithhooft, maybe. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but he donated $7 over to Ascent's cause. So big shout outs to you, my friend. Thank you for the support of Ascent, and we'll see who's the most recent donator for the TLR campaign here. Pleb with 10 euros. Thank you, Pleb, for your donation as well to the TLR cause there. So keep them coming, guys. Help these guys out. Get them over to I55 here courses. As Sideshow said, there is lots of good perks over there as well that you can get for donating. So check it out, i55.tf.
Yeah, I have just realized the problem, and the problem was I was typing in the Archon password wrong. I was using the Archon from the other server, so we will we'll have that going fairly shortly. Let me see if I can just change the server over.
All right, yeah, we'll let Sideshow do his work here. Big shout outs to that man as well. He's been juggling around a million different things while I sit here and do pretty much nothing. So big shout outs to Sideshow there. Of course, DavidTheWin as well for the production of this whole event and helping get it set up as well. The EU All-Stars here, these guys are. So definitely give them some love in the chat. But yeah, we're just about to get started, guys. Granary Pro is our third and final map. That's going to be the decider here. Ascent did pick up Sunshine 4-3. They won that one nail-biting game. That was on the NA server. And, of course, TLR just had a stomping on Badlands there. They won that one 6-1, and now we head on over to Granary Pro as our deciding map. As we said, it will be on a New York server, the NA server, so definitely favoring Ascent just a bit, but the pings will be pretty even for the most part. Definitely an opportunity for TLR. They can definitely take this game. They almost did it on Sunshine. Could certainly do it here on Granary as well. So,
and I think Gecks, the Granary really favors the Americans more than the Sunshine did, purely because it's such a soldier-heavy map. The mid has all of that height advantage. It's incredibly close quarters, so whenever they meet a scout, it's much more difficult for the scout to kind of dodge around, and it's not a very open map. So I think in terms of the soldier advantage here, given that Amps and Shadowburn both playing on about 120, 130 ping, you've got to give it fairly heavily there to Rando and Mailer. So I think here we could be seeing Ascent come out victorious. That is my prediction anyway. I think we're going to be seeing something like a 5-3, maybe a bit more fast-paced than that, actually. I'm going to go with a 6-4 game in favor of Ascent, but it's going to be pretty close.
6-4 for Ascent. All right, I like that. I also think Ascent is going to come out on top of this one. I'm definitely thinking it's going to be close, though, regardless. I'm thinking a 5-4 game for Ascent. So, we'll see. We'll see. Regardless, we're definitely in for a good one. So we have the map switched over. Sideshow took care of that. And we're going to be ready to go here soon, folks. Third and final map coming up, and this is actually the first time that I've ever looked at Granary Pro. I actually just downloaded it off of the server, and the lighting is so wacky, man. I'm so not used to it. It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's been made much brighter and much some of the textures have been changed just to make it look a little bit less dreary. But Dagger's been working on this. It's been played in the ETF2L season, which means it'll be played at I55 as well, which is why we're using it here. So the Americans need to start playing on it a little bit, gearing up for the LAN. There are some small differences compared to Granary. It's essentially just fixing things. So previously on Granary, the ammo packs, there was hardly any, and they were really dispersed around the map. So they've added a few large ammo packs on the last point, some small ones in yard. They've fixed some of the choke points so that they're not so small, which allows you to push easier from yard to mid and mid to yard. They've opened up a choke point above second as well, and they've fixed some spawns on Granary last point so that it's much easier to push out from. So it's, all in all, I think it's an upgrade. I think most people who played it in the ETF2L season would agree that it's an upgrade compared to the normal Granary, but it's still a work in progress, I think. So we could see a new version. In fact, I believe there is a new version, B10, which has some small clipping fixes, but we might see a new version before I55 as well. But in essence, it's the same good old Granary that you know and love, just with some slight fixes.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm really liking it. It is. I love that it's so much brighter too. It's not like a sad and dreary day like the other Granary. It's nice and bright. It's a happy day here on CP Granary. So it's definitely cool. I like this, fixing some of the issues previously with the map. So loving it. It's good stuff.
Yeah. As well, the the thing that I've just been reminded of by having a look at stream chat, our Twitch chat, reminding me of some analysis that I should be mentioning, is that Shadowburn previously, when he played for his Russian teams last season, although I haven't seen him use it for TLR as much, did a really super fast, super aggressive rollout on Granary, where he would go faster than the rest of his team to mid, and actually deny the enemy med pack from the demo man and try and get the frag. So if he can try and pull that out with 125 ping against Badonsky, that would be incredible. Badonsky as well here sitting on about 80 ping, so he might be having a little bit of trouble with his rollouts as well, but the rollout for the demo man not quite as technically difficult as the rollout for the enemy soldier, which requires you to get there in time, but that will be super interesting to see whether they try that out as well. I can hear one team readying up though, Gecks, so I believe we're going to be going live. In fact, we've gone live right now, Gecks. This is the third map of the NA versus EU Showmatch number 2, TLR versus Ascent. I'm Sideshow, with me is Gecks, and we are on our first middle.
Here we go, jumping right into it here. Let's see what happens. Didn't see that big fast rollout from Shadowburn. Ping may be the issue there, but Mela is going to go ahead and get all the way inside of TLR's garage right now. He's having a battle with Nico in there, and he's actually going to find that frag onto him, so Nico is the first blood here on this mid. TLR just sitting back in the corner right now, and they don't even want to fight this one. They just back themselves
double black box! The soldiers are running the double black box, and Shadowburn's running Conjurer as well. They are going to play this so slowly. I think they realize that the ping disadvantage is going to be horrific, and so they just want to just spam, I think. This is a really weird strategy. Because of the ping, you're seeing some odd things come out here. Oh, Serotonin took a double donk! He went down to 11 health and kept hold of his Uber charge. That takes some big balls.
Oh my goodness, I milked that one for all it was worth. And, you know, at least they're going to have that Uber to work with now. Shadowburn's down, Rando's down as well, so each team down a player right now. The Ubers haven't been forced out yet, though. Now that's going to force the Uber out of Serotonin right there, and the Fragile is going to pop his off as well. So we have an exchange, but Ascent has the better Uber here. Nico's going to go down. Herr P falls as well as Mela picks up a 2K, but Banonsky outside here is going to get double donked by Heist, and he shuts him down. So that is going to be 2 players down, 3 players down for TLR right now, though, as Heist falls as well. So the remaining players just need to get themselves out here. Serotonin and Shadowburn get out, and you have Ams up top here. Quite hurt, though. He may fall. He got himself out. And he can say thank you to the black box for that one.
Yeah, both of these soldiers are getting the health back every time they hit a shot. They get 15 health back. As well, Shadowburn getting 2 health back every second and building up a contra charge. So it's going to be a healthy team here from the soldiers, but it makes them play so much more passively because Shadowburn on Roma doesn't have his gunboats, so it takes 45 damage roughly every time he jumps. And then Ams, I think is Ams is running gunboats actually, so it doesn't have his shotgun. It's a very, very odd setup here, but he's actually going to try and go in here. Ams, I think he's going to take a fight against Mela in the upper area. They're both going to trade with some help from Nico and Heist, but in essence here, Uber v Uber, both teams just going to prod, see whether they can get a better Uber exchange.
Yeah, both teams down a player right now, and Mela is going to be up slightly quicker than Ams, but they'll both be in the fight when needed. So just at the stalemate right now. We'll see how Ascent plans on pushing this one. I would assume we'll see some sort of a play maybe from Mela. I don't know. It actually looks like TLR just decides to push straight on in here. They pop their Uber off, and this could spell some trouble because the Fragile is going to have a much better Uber here, and they send Rando forward. He did get flashed again, but he's going to jump straight on in here, though. That Conjurer is popped off here, so this may allow TLR to hold this one off. Mela gets blasted, though. That's 3 players down for TLR. Make that 4. Am's quite hurt as well. Only 10 health left. He goes down as well. The wipe comes through, and Ascent will grab the first round here, 1-0.
Yeah, the real problem with that Contra repush is that they didn't pop it off early enough. They popped it off once Serotonin had already died, and even though it gives you some healing back, I think it gives you something like 60% of all the damage you do back as health, or it might be a bit of a lower percentage than that actually. I'm not quite sure on the exact number, but they really needed Serotonin there, and they needed to pop it off so that they could clump it into a lot of players going aggressive. Oh, Heist takes so much damage! Picked off right at the beginning! Wow. Even though they have almost exactly the same ping there, Badonsky just bossing him around. Brilliant play by Badonsky.
Very, very good play. Got Heist right away. That's going to force TLR to just leave that mid there. And looks like Ascent's taking this all the way around on that left side yard here. Mela's already inside of Lunchbox. TLR's got to be careful here. They don't get pinched in. And they've backed up inside of the lobby. Herr P's going to fall outside in the yard. So that's TLR. They haven't really been able to get too much room here. Shadowburn got Badonsky, though. That's a big pick for them, and that's actually going to be a second player going down. Decimate has fallen as well, so wow, make that Mela, too. TLR coming through with the frags here, and they had to pop off their Uber. Both teams had used here, and here comes the Conjurer pop as well. The Fragile goes down thanks to Heist, and he's going to grab Rando as well. A great pushback out here from TLR, and they're going to have a lot of advantage.
Yeah, I think Shadowburn's actually holding on to his Conjurer here. If you hold down the right click, or the alternate attack, whatever key you've got it bound to, you can actually wait and delay this Conjurer. So I don't think Ascent realized, but they're going to have the Conjurer push whenever they choose to pop it off here. Shadowburn's actually going to pop it off now, and they're going to be able to go into them non-ubered. It's 35% healing, gets back from all the damage they do, plus some passive healing as well. But Badonsky picks him off, picks Herr P off, and that's such good play there by the American Demoman. I really rate Badonsky very highly, and every time I watch him, he seems to come out with some great work on Demoman. Such a phenomenal player.
He certainly is one of the best at his craft there, so to speak. You know, he always can provide something exciting for you to see. Never fails to impress. So good stuff coming out from him. And Ascent has room now. They've gotten all the way inside of the mid. They're going to grab this midpoint back here. The Fragile just came up on his Uber here as well, and TLR frantically building back here inside of yard, but we should be seeing the push come through from Ascent in just a second. They have a few players geared up towards this garage side, but the combo has rotated back around over to the choke here, and it looks like they want to come in this way. They haven't popped that Uber off yet. They're just seeing if they can take it for free, and so far they're getting it for free. And Ams is actually going to go down. They have Nico inside of this left side yard here as well. He's going to go down. Serotonin almost up on this Uber here. 85%. Just wants to try and grab this one quick. They may well, no, they're down 2 players, so they're not going to contest this. They're just going to grab this Uber, and actually the Fragile had to pop that Uber off, so they're going to come flying straight into him here. Counter pop coming out of TLR here. They have a much better Uber, though they have to be careful. Rando's all the way behind here. He's actually on last right now, but he's quite hurt at the moment. He's going to go down, and we may be seeing a reset here for the time being. Actually, TLR just wants to push right back into this lobby. Herr P got Shrugger, and there's a couple more over towards that lunchbox side, but TLR coming out on top of that fight there as they only have 3 players left.
Yeah, they got control of that top ground really well there, and even though that door's been opened up, they were able to control the entirety of that upper section. Whenever Ascent sends some players behind or to get onto Serotonin as he was pushing in, they do have a small advantage here again. It's about 15%, maybe 20% if they build it really hard. They're going to have the Uber fairly shortly. If Ascent try and push in, oh, there's the Conjurer popped off. And, oh no, it's not. He's holding on to it. He's getting ready to pop it, though. I think they're going to pop it at the end of these Ubers, but they need somebody to try and trade. Maybe they're just going to go and try and use it in regardless. Do they think that they have an advantage here? They're going to be popping it in. Here they go. Oh, they actually forced as well. Serotonin having to pop off his Ubercharger, and they're only going to get 1 frag for it. This could be terrible here.
Oh, yeah. Ascent has a much better Uber here. That's going to be... yeah, Shadowburn's going to go down there. Rando takes care of that one, though. TLR didn't lose too many. Well, just as I say that, Herr P goes down as well. They're actually still pushing the issue over towards that shutter side in the yard, but now they back off. They're down 2 players, but they did manage to keep Serotonin alive, so they'll at least be able to build this Uber up here. Pretty even Ubers, though, on both teams.
Yeah, the Uber's... oh, there we go. Shrugger getting picked up by a sticky trap from Heist, and that's going to stump a little bit of their aggression. It's actually a bit of an Uber advantage in favor of Serotonin because he popped it off a little earlier. I don't know whether they're going to build it up, or whether they even know that they've got it, but I think both of these teams are just going to be trying to trade some spam around this area and then force a push in. Decimate's actually getting onto the UK Demoman there, Heist, and takes him down with the ease. So both Demomen down for either team. This is an incredibly even fight. Decimate goes down as well. The Uber's going to be traded around second point, Gecks. What's happening here?
Oh man, I don't know. They're tight inside of the second point right now. Both teams are going to pop this one off. Am's quite hurt, has to back up out of the fight. They're just smashing faces here on this second point, but Ascent is down 2 players right now. TLR is there's a couple players backed up inside of the yard, but the spawns have come through for them here, and now they're just pushing the issue on this second point. Fragile goes down, Rando as well, but Ams and Herr P both fell during that fight as well, and they have the Contra ready. I believe Shadowburn's holding it over there, and both teams are down 2 players. They can definitely fight this one here. They're going to have to go ahead and grab the second point, though, once again.
Oh, but everybody's left Serotonin. Oh, Serotonin's getting attacked by Strugger and does go down to the pistol. Oh, just as they went in there with the increased speed that the Contra allows, they just created a bit of distance between themselves and their medic, Serotonin. And now with the Fragile up, a big health advantage in favor of Ascent, even though they don't quite have the same amount of players up. Got to spark some aggression here from TLR. Badonsky is doing so well again, though. Both scouts down. Will be able to pick up Amps as well if he doesn't get juggled into a bad position. Badonsky's so weak, just needs one more player to go with him. Decimate and Shrugger now spawn, though, and surely they're going to be able to stop the Shadowburn getting in onto their medic and repush this. Yes, they are going to be able to. Only Serotonin and Heist left alive, and they're going to want to push this out and into mid with a super advantage.
Yeah, they'll be moving straight on through right here, so they're just about up on it. Fragile he's at 90%, so he'll be grabbing this one in just a second. TLR is all the way inside of their yard right now. They're building up their Uber to try and get it before they push into the second. They're at 65% right now, TLR is, so they may be able to grab this in time here. Should be able to. And we'll see how quick Ascent decides to push the issue here, but it's they're just 10% away now, and Ascent's moving towards this garage side. Let's see if they just take it straight on in here. Rando getting ready to move on through here. There's sticks, though. They have to be careful. Rando may get caught in here. They're forced to use the Uber. Both teams use it, and Decimate actually went down to Ams there, so we'll see who comes out on top of this one. Ascent taking a lot of damage. They've had to back themselves up, but now the health over on TLR isn't the best either. They need to get those heals back out here, so a bit of a reset for the time being. We'll see if TLR actually they want to try and push this into the mid here. They've already sent Shadowburn in. Am's got Rando. Herr P's going to find Mela as well. Shadowburn did go down. Herr P's going to fall as well. We're looking at a 3-on-3 fight right now. Nico got Podonsky, and that may be TLR coming out on top of that fight. Yes, it is. They're going to grab that one, so right back into it. Still a 1-0 game, though, for Ascent.
Yeah, it's been very backwards and forwards, but nobody's actually managed to take it all the way to a team's last, barring that one round that we saw get picked up on the board by Ascent. So it's been kind of backwards and forwards, but both teams failing around the second or yard area. They're not bad with these mid pushes, but as soon as they try and take second, they're losing players there. Traded Herr P for Mailer. I think that kind of... no, actually, that doesn't really favor either team. But they do have Uber charges to exchange. I guess Herr P is going to be missed slightly more there, but TLR is still going to be the ones to go aggressive, taking Shadowburn into this, but it's such a better Uber coming out of Rando here. Rando's going in deep, trying to get onto Serotonin, but got blasted away from his medic, didn't get any of that Uber charge. That's really unfortunate, but they've dropped their pocket, and it's going to be open here for the TLR repush.
Oh, Decimate getting crunched there. Nico's in as well. Shrugger's going to get crunched by these scouts as well. He's managing to keep himself alive, but so many players down from Ascent right now. It's just Mela left in there. He's going to fall as well. He was able to get Serotonin, though. That was a big play from Mela to get Serotonin right at the end of that fight, but we're going to see TLR push this right into the last here. They pop off that Contrary. He's holding it, and now he releases. Rando gets blasted, and that is going to be a TLR round right there, tying things up 1-1.
Yeah, just off the back of Fragile dropping Rando there, which wasn't either of their faults, to be honest. Rando jumped forward to try and make use of his better Uber charge and pick up Serotonin or possibly Shadowburn, but he just got an extra rocket and got propelled out of range, and it was an easy frag there. Go into our third mid, though. I'm going to be watching Podonsky and Heist as they trade stickies. Sticky Trap already arranged around that area, and Heist takes a little bit of damage on 100 health, but it's not really favouring either teams. They're both just sat on their respective sides here. A bomb in from Rando is going to pick off Amps with the help of Decimate, but they lose their own roamer for it, but they're positioning so much better here from Ascent, and they're just running riot all over TLR. Oh, they're actually replying with frags.
Oh, look at this. It's actually a 3-on-2 here. TLR has the upper hand in this one. Bonanski's got to try and get his team out here. His scouts coming in from both sides. Can he hold them off? Oh, that's Fragile going down. Bonanski got Herpy, but can he get Nico as well? He can't. And the scout duo there saving TLR in that mid there. I totally thought that they were going to be out of it, but they managed to pull it back there. Heist as well. Man, that's the TLR mid.
Yeah, there we go. They came back out of it. I think Decimate and Sugar overextended a little bit. They went in to try and get the frag onto Serotonin and kind of gifted themselves as frags to the rest of the TLR team. They kind of baited out Serotonin a little bit in order to pick up those two frags. They did get control of the midpoint. They do have a slight Uber advantage as well, given that Serotonin died so much earlier than the Fragile did. So they'll be wanting to push with this Uber charge, but in the meantime they've left Choke completely open and Sugar is in behind. Sugar can't believe his luck. He's found a way behind all the rest of the TLR team now, and only meets
but Ams is there.
Yeah, in the meantime, TLR have pushed with their Contra and they want to try and take control of the enemy lunchbox. They're getting in behind and now they have the Uber charge up. They just use that Contra as like an easy way to dry push in through the flank of TLR, of Ascent, sorry. And now they're going to take their Uber charge in. This is looking great for TLR, but Fragile's about to get his Uber charge up, does pop it off. And now we've got an Uber v Uber fight, Shadowburn as well getting blasted in the air. How are things going to pan out on second though, Gecks?
Oh, we'll see. Ascent's down 2 players, so they don't have a whole lot of room to push back in here. Shadowburn's gonna go down. TLR is fighting this last point here. They're in on it. Shrugger got the respawn, though. We'll see. Rando tries to drop down from the sky. It's only Shrugger left, and TLR is going to win that last point there. Ascent just down too many players, and that will be a 2-1 game now. TLR taking the lead.
Crazy stuff here. The Europeans taking the lead on the American server with this ping disadvantage. No sniper on the field, which was what caused the problems for Ascent last time. It just seems like they're getting bossed a little bit in these Uber exchanges, which is unusual for Ascent, to be perfectly honest. The double dunk! Takes down Heist immediately at the beginning of the mid-fight here. Badonsky just showing that he's so much better on these mids than Heist is. He's giving in the runaround. First he kills him with the stickies, next he kills him with the double donk. Crazy stuff here coming out from Badonsky.
Oh my god, man, that was beast. Yeah, he got into that mid so fast too and put stickies all around that health pack. Shadowburn up top here. TLR's actually pushing right back in here. Badonsky's quite hurt. He's got to back up. They have much better positioning here. TLR does. Badonsky actually goes down thanks to Shadowburn. And TLR gets themselves right back into the mid here. But Contra is going to get popped off here. We'll see. He's going to hold it for a second. He's holding, though. Mail is coming for him. He's going to be forced to pop it off. Ascent's coming right back into this mid here. They pop their Uber off. TLR is going to have a better Uber here, though, as they popped off just a bit later. So we'll see who comes out on top with the frags here. Shrugger gets Heist. He's going to go down. Nico got Shrugger. Exchanging on that frag. It's flip-flopping back and forth here. Both teams are down a few players. Down 2 at the moment. Respawns are coming through. Kind of an awkward fight to call there, but
yeah,
it looks like
at
TLR
the end of the day,
out.
It seems like TLR coming out on top because they had that health advantage as well. Badonsky throwing in the double dunk, almost hit one onto Serotonin there, and I think we should have a listen to the team comms as well. We've left them kind of alone without having to listen to our beautiful teams for quite a while, so I want to have a listen to TLR and see how they want to push this forward.
Come with me.
For no right, solely scout medic. We can probably go on them. Wait,
we have it,
wait,
we don't
wait,
have it.
Yeah, we wait to Uber.
Wait, do we have the advantage or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit just behind you, okay?
Let's go now. Bottom right.
Okay, I'm going to stick you left.
Chris,
stick is left. Right, I mean.
Just Uber full.
Whiz.
I'm with you.
I have crunch.
Read top left, I miss.
Shall I do counter?
Cut up, I miss.
Or scout too. Yeah, I'm big.
Down dead.
I'm not with you, Nick.
I'm on medic.
Focus.
So is down.
Medic weak.
Kill me. I'm dead.
Come near me.
Medic took 110. Dead.
Nice.
Medic should be 10 HP.
Sol is weak. Nice, Sol is down.
I have to go back to health, guys. I'm out for health.
Kill me. Oh.
Where is he? So where?
I'm fighting the middle last.
Oh shit. Where is he?
On point.
Run. You can die.
I was trying to get med. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
You were close.
Well, they go in there, but that's a great defense coming out from Ascent. Shrugger just holding it off right at the end there. Fragile, as Herr P called, on 10 HP, just ducking and weaving around and didn't get picked up by anybody.
Somehow, I thought for sure he was going to go down in that one. He saw Serotonin in it at the end there, trying to finish him off at least. He knew he was going to die, but he wanted to get the Fragile. Oh my goodness, was that an arrow hit from Serotonin there onto Ams? I think he hit that. That was incredible, dude. Ams was blasted into the sky, and I think Serotonin hit that arrow onto him. Regardless, Ascent Ascent pushes back into the mid here, and they are going to cap it back up here. And a big advantage coming through from TheFragile here. They're going to work it towards this garage side. Sticks get Det over there. And TheFragile moving his team in through that left yard there. Nico got Mela. And Decimate's going to come on through here, but TLR just backs off.
Yeah, they've got another 10 seconds in order to use a super advantage forwards, but it looks like they really just want to back off, and they seem content just to have control of yard. Amps is actually hanging around in drop down as well. I'm going to switch over to the team comms and see what they're thinking.
Nice.
Trying to we're doing this.
Tell me when.
Yes, take some points.
Soldier behind last. Alright, we're still doing this shit.
Tell me when. We pop. They pop too. They pop too.
Stay out there. Just split them up.
I'm behind them. You're gonna
Sticks on point. They'll just go last.
Yeah,
go
we're
last. Scout cap and go last.
Keep going right.
Can you arrow me or
I'm
something?
in last.
No stay.
Or what the fuck? Oh my god.
Let's just go, please.
Can you jump the soldier pipe?
Demo took 60.
Demo and med earlier, right?
Go soldier's point.
Shoot the demo.
They're coming out right. Spot. Nice. Let's go.
Let's go, Gecks.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was a nice play by them. Heist almost got them with a double dunk onto TheFragile on that left-hand door, but in the end, Ascent not going to be denied, wrapping it up 2-2. Are we going to see another silly play coming out of Badonsky? And I mean silly in the sense that it's ridiculously good here. I'm watching him as he battles Heist.
Oh, I believe, man. Badonsky gets those mids so much quicker than Heist. He had the sticks down there on the pack, and he got Heist. This guy is a monster on these mids, and they're just shutting out TLR from this mid here completely. They have no way to get in, and they're down 2 players here. Herr P and Heist are both dead, so they just have to back off here. But what a presence Badonsky has been on these mids.
It's unbelievable. It's every time. I mean, Heist must understand what's happening right now, and he was really slow to the mid, and he wasn't challenging, but then he just fell down onto a sticky trap. Oh, TheFragile actually going to drop his pocket there. Rando got juggled in, and there was nothing TheFragile could really do. Caught off by a load of stickies on the floor as well. I'm not sure how this Uber trade is going to go. It looks like it's favouring TLR actually. They're might catch out Badonsky. They've got a scout behind, and the Contra popped off as well. This is looking like dire straits here for Ascent. They'll be very hard pushed here to make this turn out well for them. And Melee's going to be in behind trying to get some frags, but at the end of the day it just all goes the way of TLR, barring the fact that Serotonin went down.
Yeah, that was key there, and well, let's see. TLR still is going to pick up this midpoint here. Ascent getting their respawns to move back forward, but still waiting for Serotonin to come up here. He's going to grab this forward spawn and start dishing out those heals. Not really much of any advantage for TheFragile here, just a few percentage points. So we'll be seeing pretty even exchange here coming up. Now we'll see. You'll see TLR hanging out by the garage right now, just still inside of this mid. Ascent has their setup ready inside of the yard, so we're going to be waiting on both these teams to get these Uber charges ready.
Oh no, we're not! Badonsky with the sticky trap is going to pick off Serotonin there. He just had that primed and ready. Brilliant stuff by him, and they're going to be streaming forwards. Let's have a listen to their reactions there.
Please get in, everyone, please get in.
Pushing your left.
Scout's low.
Scout's behind left.
Scout's gonna go back half.
Yeah, they're
I'm
going
down.
back.
Demo's 3.
Fucking clown time.
Oh my god, they messed that up so badly. So badly there from Ascent. There was people behind. They didn't get in through the choke point cleanly. Shrugger can't win a 2v1, and that's another round on the board for TLR based off that double scout back cap. It's the gimmicks, Gecks. It's the gimmicks.
Oh man, a meltdown there from Ascent. Sadly for them, I mean the push just failed miserably. The scout, I mean, heads up play there from TLR to get in behind them there. They just ran it right on back, and Ascent got crushed inside that mid. So we'll see it once again. Badonsky getting a lot of good damage out onto Heist. They're doing even more to him. He's got him knocked down to about 70 health or so. But now we'll see if TLR can get themselves into the mid here, because they're kind of all grouped up towards this choke side. Nico's already gone down. Herr P goes down as well. Ams will fall, and that means TLR needs to back up. And they do have a few players pushing them, but they're going to get themselves out of this one.
Yeah, they're going to have that Uber up in about 5 seconds, so as long as they can keep Serotonin safe, they can take an Uber trade on second, actually. They have their Uber up. The Fragile still a few seconds away from his, which allows TLR, their players, to get in position. Mailer's got control of that lunchbox area, but it's actually a very early force here coming out from Serotonin. This is going to be such a better Uber coming out from the Fragile and Rando. This could be a round here just based off this much better Uber charge. Rando is such a good player at using these Ubers forward and making them work, but can't quite find the players to frag during that Uber, and Fragile actually goes down right at the end of that Uber charge as well, so things are not looking good here for Ascent.
Yeah, Heist was just spamming those loose cannon shots straight into the point. He already had a bunch of sticks laid down, I believe, from the Uber charge, or for right afterwards, I think he did. And then he just launched in some loose cannon shots and finished him off there. And that was big to get the Fragile in that situation, because that leaves Serotonin with a pretty big advantage here. Actually, he's just about to come up on his Uber right now, so TLR definitely looking to make some room here and try and push, maybe, but they need to make some room here first. Ascent is right in their face here, and they are going to make that room by popping off the Uber here. It looks like Ascent is kiting it pretty well here. They haven't dropped any players, and then they're actually going to find the frags as well, and they have Shrugger all the way back. He went in for that back cap there. Very, very heads-up play. He was hanging out up top. And as soon as that push came through, he grabbed it, and they will tie it up here 3-3.
Absolutely. They were actually getting the better end of that Uber charge as well. They were still winning even if Sugar hadn't gone for that. So great play by Ascent. They just read exactly what they were going to do, and they're going to this next mid. I'm going to have a listen over to their comms.
Those are top.
They're going 30?
They're going left.
That was hurt. That was
dead. Soldier hurt.
He's right.
I need to grab pack if possible. Our pack.
Yeah,
yeah, they're really out.
I'm coming, their garage.
It's unbelievable, Gecks. It's happening every time. He got double donked again. But Donsky's double donks are just so on point. He can just hit them all the time on these mid fights. And he just created at the end there. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Oh my god, man. He's the amount of work being done is epic, man. He's nailing those loose cannon shots, and that sets up Ascent. They were able to pick up the mid here, and they're just outside of the second point. Both teams have that full Uber, so we'll see what their plan of attack is. Ams is quite hurt. He needs to take some heals here. Rando's actually gone down, and I hear a conch pop coming off here. We'll see what they do with it. They're taking it in through Z, actually getting in the yard here. They force the Fragile, and they haven't had to use their Uber yet here. Serotonin needs to be careful. He has players coming in from him from behind, but he did pop that Uber off here, and he saved his life, and he's going to flash his teammates as well. TLR picking up on a few frags here. Need to be careful, though. Maila's inside of the lunchbox right now. Can certainly make a play, and he's just going to take his time and wait this one out here, but he may be able to find a cheeky frag onto somebody here.
Yeah, I think, he's going to find Heist. I thought he was going to go for the back cap there, but he's going to run into the Demo Man. He's going to delay him for a long time. I'm not sure whether Ascent can use this to try and get in and try and block mid. It looks like that's what they're going to try to do. Decimate and Rando poking in, seeing if they can get something on that mid fight, but nothing happening. They are a Demo Man down though, TLR, and that should really open the door for Ascent. They are going back now to deal with Mela, who is still behind. Nico picks up that frag. Heist with the forward spawn as well, but the Uber's charge is going to be equal, and Ascent regain control of the midpoint. 2.5 minutes remaining, Gecks, and it is 90% for both teams. Ascent with control of the midpoint. You would expect them to push, especially with that scout pick. Are we going to see them push in here?
Oh, they're gearing up for it. They have their Uber as well, and Serotonin's just about to be up on his as well. He has it, but he's quite hurt too, so he needs to be careful. Slowly regenning that health, but Shadowburn went down. This has got to cue the push out of Ascent right here. They're trying to make way in through from this garage side, and they've gotten control of the yard area. They push TLR back here as they wait for their spawns to come in. So Ascent's actually taking this all the way through on this lunchbox side here, and they're going to have to pop it off here. Serotonin's going to have a much better Uber out here on this second point, and he's going to pop it off here. We'll see Mela and Decimate have both gone down here, and that's actually going to be the Fragile falling as well. Ascent is getting crushed here on this second point. They do have Rando up top, though. They need to be careful. He can make a play. He's in behind here. Shadowburn checking it. Can he get him? No, Rando came out on top of that one, but he's very hurt here, but he's going for that back cap. He's sitting on it. Can he get it in time? No.
And Melee's going to actually try and block it at the same time. Goes in and gets Serotonin. So blocked it as well as getting that med pick there. And Rando is going to be coming in behind, trying to get onto whoever he can find. They're going to try and squeeze these TLR players, and it's looking good here. They're getting onto everybody. Ams heist down. Rando does fall, but Nico was forced to vacate the premises very quickly there. So things are starting to look up here for Ascent. We're getting down into the final minute of the game, and for TLR, it's kind of looking like do or die here. They want to either take this aggressively before TheFragile gets his Ubercharge up, which gives them about 10 seconds now, really, to make something happen. Ams is heavy in forward spawn. This is such a weird play. He's going to try and drop down behind them as Ascent push. He knows that they have to push. They have 30 seconds to do it, and they are going to be coming forward with their Ubercharge now. I don't think they've checked the forward spawn here. No, they haven't. Ams is still heavy there. He's going to be dropping down behind them, surely. Here he goes, the heavy play. He's going to be dropping down onto Podolski. Gets the frag onto Podolski. Oh my god, gets the frag on Decimate as well. They've used their Ubercharge into last, though. It's 4v4. All they need to do is play the last point here. Ascent are trying to play it, but only Rando and Ascent, Melee left alive. They're going to get cleaned up there. And the final score 3-3, but we will be going to a golden cap. Oh my word, the final map, golden cap, boys. This is crazy stuff.
Oh my god, man. I can't help. I have the biggest grin on my face right now. First of all, because of what Ams just did. That was absolutely freaking awesome, man. I love that, popping out of that forward spawn with heavy. Managed to pick up 2 frags, man. I think that may have just saved TLR on that last point there. They managed to hold it off, and you can't really ask for much of a better game than this Sideshow. I mean, we're going into golden cap overtime, 3rd map, man.
Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. We'll have a look at the logs after the golden cap as well, and we'll see how long we're going to be going live with that. I imagine we're going to be going to it straight away, but the teams might choose to take a little bit of a break. I'm just trying to see if I can find any of the players who are currently on the server and see whether they've gone live with it, see how long we've got to really discuss that game. But in terms of the mid fights, you got to give the advantage to Ascent. They were winning almost every mid, right? I mean, they were just bossing Heist around.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to Podolski, man. He was controlling those mids for Ascent. As you said, he's just toying with Heist. You know, Heist was much slower to the mids most of the time than Podolski was, and Podolski was just able to set up his sticks all over the place wherever he wished, and managed to find Heist on those mids many of the time. So. You know, definitely mids favored to Ascent there, but regardless, it's a really tight game. TLR keeps themselves in it regardless of not coming out on top of too many of those mid fights. They have definitely some solid, some solid post mid fight play just on their pushes and holds and things. So they're keeping themselves in it quite well. We're all tied up. So.
I think one of the interesting things to note is that because Heist was dying so early in the mid-fight, Serotonin and actually quite a few of the players of TLR were able to escape every single time. If they allow Heist into the mid-fight and then jump on them and use that ping advantage, use the DM advantage that Ascent are going to have on this map, then they might be able to get better mids in general. Even though they are winning the mids, they're not getting those full team wipes that you often see on Granary. So if they make TLR commit to a mid-fight by roping Heist in and then kill them all, then they'll be able to pick up rounds off the back of it rather than just mid off the back of it. Because so far, all the mids that they won where Podolski was picking off Heist, Serotonin and his soldiers and maybe a scout were able to escape, and they're able to set up a defense on yard or second, and that really slows the game down and it stops Ascent getting the momentum they need, even though their mid fights are doing so well. So I think it's an interesting problem that you don't often see on Granary, because you normally see these kind of wipes on mid and then rolling all the way to last. So it's an interesting game of Granary Pro we've got going on here, and I am so hyped to see how this final round is going to play out. I'm just going to go and have a talk to the teams as well. Shall we shout some players out on the fundraiser while I go and have a talk to them?
Yeah, let's do that. We'll go ahead and check out the fundraiser, see what's going on over there for our recent donations. Of course, on the TLR one, I can only check, I believe, the most recent donator. So 66 Enthusiast gave a nice £5 donation, and Shit Wizard is I can't say that name without laughing a little bit. He's sitting at top as the largest donator with 300 euros, and if we take a look, at what we got, 6v6 Enthusiast also gave a nice $7 over to what is that? Over to the Ascent boys as well, and then you also have Flatline. He dropped $10 there. Raise Fire, he dropped down $40 there. Over on Ascent, so big shout outs to him there. Shout outs to Squeaks as well with a $10 donation. Goober dropped $7, so I think that's all the most recent ones since the last time we shouted them out. But big thanks to everybody who is donating to the cause here. Want to get these teams over so we can see them play in England on 0 ping. That's the best way to play the game. So then we can see what these guys are truly made of on those land environments.
Absolutely, and they're so close to being finished here with these fundraisers, guys. One final push is all we need in order to get both of these fundraisers completely done. It's only, let me see if I can do some basic maths here. It's 205 euros to get TLR completely done, and it is, what, 473 euros to get Ascent completely done. Sorry, dollars, that is. $473 to get Ascent completely done. That's not very much, guys. We can do that. We could do that just if everybody in the chat donated a single dollar to either of those fundraisers. We could do that and more. So any donations completely appreciated, and this is the kind of level of TF2, even better, in fact. This is worse. This is nothing compared to the level of TF2 that you'll see at i55, and it will just be such a phenomenal thing, and you'll be able to say that you contributed to making it happen.
Yeah, man, I've always said that TF2 is by far and out the best community that I've worked in out of all the games that I've done. I've been around in a lot of different games, played competitively or casted or this and that, and this is by far the best one because of stuff like this. I know you guys are going to reach that goal. We're so close. We just got to push it a little bit more there. So regardless, what you guys have done already is just spectacular. Helping to get these guys over there, because I guarantee you will not be disappointed in the least bit seeing these guys play on a LAN environment. It always makes for really exciting games, so you will not be disappointed. Definitely, as Sideshow said, if you can spare a couple extra bucks or something, your assistance would be greatly appreciated. So we're going to be seeing a golden cap overtime here soon, Sideshow.
We are indeed. They're just going live very shortly. I think the teams are just taking a small break. The server is all set up to go live with the Golden Cap. Golden Caps, for anyone who's not familiar with the rulings, is a first to one. There is no time limit, and that is the only factor. If you win the round, you win the game. And since it's come down to this, you win the whole fixture here. This whole show match resting on that one cap. So we could see a back cap. We could see a dominant mid and then a wipe all the way into last. We could see some back and forth action lasting 3 hours. But whatever we've got coming up, it's going to be incredible between these two teams, Ascent and TLR. And it's going to be just a preview of what's going to happen at i55. I'm so hyped.
I know, man. When I'd gotten my ticket locked into and everything, I was like, man, I am so hyped for i55, and it's still like 2 months away, dude. I just want to get over there right now. And as you said, this is definitely just a preview of things to come. This is going to be a great end to the day here for us in this Golden Cap round, and I'm excited to get it going. We'll be getting into it here shortly, guys. So stick with us here. So it's just about there, man. The anticipation's killing me. These guys they're keeping us waiting. I guess just to build more hype.
Absolutely, I think that must be what it is. I can hear one of the teams readying up though, and I think we're going to be going live within the next few seconds. There we go. No, something's happening. I think that might be a little server bug. Yeah, both of the teams readying up, and it seems like the server's not playing ball with them for some reason. There we go, we have gone live now. This is our Golden Cap. It all comes down to this. The second NA versus EU show match. This is Ascent versus TLR. The 3 maps have just been so incredibly nail-bitingly close. And here we go on the NY server. Bodonsky versus Heist. It's a battle for the ages. Who's going to win on this first mid? It's going to define so much. Bodonsky getting a little bit of damage onto Heist there. But now all the players starting to arrive, Gecks.
Mela's inside of that garage right now. He's trying to get some control up top here. Got some rockets off onto Nico, but still no team has managed to find a frag yet. Actually, just as I say that, Ascent gets 2. That's 3 players down for TLR. They gotta back up, make sure that they keep Serotonin alive. He's gonna go down, and now it's just Nico left alive for TLR right now, but Ascent is going to have an uncontested Uber advantage to push into this last with right now. They're on that second point, and this may be just about all she wrote here, Sideshow.
It's going to be so difficult for them to defend here. They've got the ping disadvantage, they've got the heal disadvantage, they've got the Uber disadvantage. This is truly a battle against the odds for TLR to manage to defend this last point. Ascent, though, are going to be wanting to push in. Let's have a listen to their comms.
Both scouts? Here,
Yeah, go.
I'm falling behind.
There's a pyro.
Soldier dead.
Most.
Pyro.
Pyro drop down.
Then
4v4, can we go back in?
4v4. I don't think we should.
They have a hit.
They have a heavy full
Yeah,
buff,
no.
So.
Alright, never mind.
Wow, they abort the repush there as well, so TLR managed to hold on to it. They're going to have a 20% Uber advantage and this Contra that Shadowburn's about to pop off. They just stuffed them in that top door.
Oh man, that was a big time to come up with a hold like that, man. They kept themselves alive, and that one, as you said, just stuffed them like a Thanksgiving turkey, man, up there in that upper area. And now that's going to be TLR pushing back into the second point here. Bonanski goes down. Actually, Am's very quick to find that one. They pop off the Uber as well here. The Fragile is going to go down. Shadowburn found that frag. It's only 3 players up for Ascent at the moment. They're just trying to get themselves out, but Rando's going to fall here. So Shrugger's still running around towards this garage side.
Mela, though. Look at Mela on the back cap. He's just waiting there, hiding, ready. And as these players get in from Ascent, ready to block the midpoint, he's on the back cap as well. TLR know what's going to come, but are they even powerless to defend against it? Decimate's just running balls deep onto the point here. Oh, they're going to manage to pick up the mid fight. And Ascent have thrown a lot of bodies onto it.
Oh man, they tried to put all the eggs in the basket right there. Didn't quite come out on top though. Mela from behind did get Heist here. He's going to try and go in for Serotonin as well, and he finds that one. Herr P eventually finishes him off, but he got Serotonin here, and that will leave Ascent with more advantage to work with here. Herr P's still running around inside of this mid here. Nico is in as well, but they're going to back off, head into yard here, and TLR is hanging on, but by a thread at some points in this game here.
Yeah, that bomb by Mela to pick up Heist and Serotonin, so important here because that gives Fragile 70% Ubercharge advantage. He's going to be wanting to push that through the choke point right about now and get into them. Oh, but the bomb, no, Shadowburn actually just faking the bomb, making them back off a little bit, but Ascent are going to be able to get control of this yard uncontested. How are TLR going to defend against this? Let's have a listen.
We can.
Cut on right.
Sorry, I'm fine.
What? You're going last?
We have to go back to last. We have to.
I'm just fine. Solis on top. I'm dead. He's dead too.
Catch drop. No one died. No one died.
Get out, Nico.
And 2 HP, 2 HP.
You guys go?
Did we have it?
I'm fine.
Yeah, we got it.
I need ammo, guys.
They're coming left. They're coming left, guys. Double dunk. Sorry. They use. Don't use me. Do not use me.
With?
Oh shit.
I was Zero. So let's pick on top.
Don't over chase, guys. Sticky's behind you on point.
Scout 60.
So
They take that Uber trade then. Heist screaming for the Uber not to be used on him, but Serotonin was caught off actually and would have probably dropped there if they hadn't used it. So now the Ubers are going to be equal, and Ascent have they're in that position where they can just hold second until an opportunity really presents itself to push. So I don't know whether TLR are going to decide to want to push out into second here, or whether they're just going to be content to try and hold on to this last.
I think they have to go with the safe play here and just hang out at the last. I mean, they have the slightest of percentage point advantage on them in the Uber department. I mean, they're just about to be up on it, but at this point, they're just going to have to hang tight here on last and wait for Ascent to make the play. They don't have any off classes. Ascent, actually, Nico goes down to a sticky trap, so that may cue this push here from Ascent. We'll see if they decide to take that one-player advantage on in there, though. Mela's going to go and die there. I think they just kind of went for the counter sack since they were up one player, but Mela unable to find anything with that. So we're going to be hanging out for just a little bit here.
Yeah, Mela went in for the bomb there because they knew that the TLR team had one player down, but Nico's respawned on Sniper actually, which is such a powerful defense for this last point. He's going to open the door there, Amps, just so that Nico can have a peek through on that left-hand side, but he's not going to find anything just yet. He's going to continue peeking and having a look, just peeking around, seeing if they can open up any avenue to push from. They're actually running a sniper of their own now, actually. Decimate is going to be moving up top, where he can get a better angle onto everybody and see if he can snipe. Shadowburn is just peeking there on that top entrance. Might be an easy pick. Oh, just takes a body shot there. No headshot, no frag incoming.
Oh, we'll have to see who makes the play here from the snipers. Now, Decimate getting aggressive with this one. He's peeking out from that left side, but now the spam's coming through. He's going to get shut out, though. That's 2 frags coming through from Ascent. Ams and Nico both go down here. Serotonin gets dropped. What a play from Decimate. This should surely be a win here for Ascent. They only have 2 players up. TLR, here it comes. Ascent finishes it off. Decimate, you are the man. And that is Ascent taking it in the Golden Cap overtime.
Unbelievable plays there from Decimate to be able to make that work. He headshots Nico and then just peeks around the corner and rips the Uber charge out of Serotonin's hands. They got to be devastated at the way that went down, but when they give them an opportunity to rotate their sniper round and round and they're not playing forward, they're kind of asking for it. So close there, but what a game, Gecks.
Whew! Man, I'm a little lightheaded after that one. Holy cow, that was awesome. Really exciting games regardless there. Just Ascent with, really Decimate with the beautiful play there at the end that finished it off for him. That game definitely could have gone either way, I think. TL or Ascent just squeaking out with it in the end there, but that was a treat to watch.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at some of the logs from that game then. If we have a look at the main log of the 3-3 map, we'll see who was performing. I'm going to sort it by damage, and unbelievable plays from Shadowburn once again. 130 ping, playing from Russia, and he has got 11.2k damage, 382 damage per minute, 27 for 14 on Granary. I give the soldier advantage in favor of Ascent there, just purely based on the pings. Rando playing with about 19 ping, Shadowburn with a full 100 more, but just outplaying them is just incredible to watch. The guy is a rocket genius. It's unbelievable watching him play, and he just spanked them on that game, just carrying his team through it.
I mean, that is just ridiculous, man. Even with that ping, the guy is just a monster. One of the best things about i55 is going to be seeing that man play with 0 ping. It's just going to be incredible, man. So, TLR put up just an awesome fight there. Big shout out to Shadowburn there, sticking it to Ascent there, but you also have Rando put out some big DPM as well, 350 coming through from him, so regardless, that's kind of what we're looking at here. I'm seeing if there's anything else really to note. It looks like TLR also got their heals in line there too. They don't have that wacky heal distribution that they had in the first game, so it's much more of a normal one here now. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So what's the story here, Sideshow? We got some interviews coming up.
Yes,
maybe?
yeah. Stick around, guys, because we're going to be talking to the players from Ascent and from TLR. They're going to be selling themselves to you as well, trying to push for those fundraisers just to be closed off. They're so incredibly close, and I think after those games, you got to think that they deserve it, man. They've got to be able to come to i55. It would be just an absolute blow not to have these people here. Shadowburn for the TLR fundraiser, and all of these Ascent guys putting up an incredible game, and you've got to have these guys at i55. It would just make the entire event. It would be incredible. So I'm gonna drag the TheFragile, Rando, Heist, and Herr P into here, and we're just gonna have a little chat. I need to unmute everybody as well. DavidTheWin doing that. Thank you very much, David. And we're joined by TheFragile medic for Ascent, Rando the pocket soldier for Ascent, Heist the demo man for TLR, and Herr P the pocket scout for TLR. Let's have a talk to Heist and Herr P as well. How devastated are you to lose that last golden cap round based on Decimate? It's incredible sniping.
It was more, we fucked it up earlier too, so we got stuck on last, and then that happens.
Yeah. It was so
Like-
backwards and forwards. Like you were just making big plays and then letting it crumble away from you. But at the end, it just came down to that crucial med pick.
We basically said, like, going into the last map, we were like, okay, what are we gonna do now? Because I'm not saying that it's not super fun to play on that ping, but like, it's not ideal, you know. And then we decided to do like the stupidest thing, which is basically going with a strat we've never tested, with like the black box and what's called the conch, which is like a strat that Shadowburns brings with him as a pocket from the Russian teams, where they did that all the time. And I think, like, if you look at the first 50 minutes, I like one frag or something because I didn't know how to play with it at all and with the ping and everything. But I don't know. We just had fun. Like, you can't be devastated losing like a close game, especially like with the ping disadvantage when there's that many people watching. It's just a shame that it ended the way it did.
Absolutely. If we flip that over then to the fragile rando, and we're actually joined by Mela as well, the roaming soldier from Ascent. So it was an incredibly close game, though, right?
Yeah, it was really close on on the New York server, on the Europe server, and we got crushed. I don't know. We just the ping situation is a little worse for us there, but I mean, like,
You don't run as many gimmicks too.
yeah, we were very confused with the conch thing because that's something that I don't think any of us have played against. So we were like learning as we went along, and it's still a weird thing for us. But that's something that, again, we're gonna have to review like European matches and see kind of some of those weird things that they do, because I don't know. In NA, it's a little more standard across the board. You don't see too many things that surprise you. Or maybe it's just because we're just used to it. But I mean, we're certainly not used to stuff like that. But yeah, it was really close, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think the European teams tend to come out with the use of unlocks and unconventional things quite a bit more than American teams do. I'm thinking the Quickie Bomb launcher. The loose cannon, actually, though, pioneered really by a lot of the American demo men starting to favour it. And I think Ice can attest to the fact that Badonsky is pretty good with that double dunk. I think he must have lost about 4 mids just based on the fact that Heis was taken down right at the beginning there.
Yeah, to be honest, we talked about that. I think that's where the game was probably lost. Like, when I say lost, obviously drawn. We were kind of experimenting, and when Fragile said about us using the conch, that's the first time we used it. So we were learning and playing at the same time, and not having the soldier aggression meant that obviously I was left too far forward. I just didn't adapt quick enough to how we should play that, and didn't back out and give ourselves a good chance, because we kind of just lost 3 players and then got rolled back to our last. So yeah, it was a pretty huge error from me, but a lot of it was the scout pistol first, and then the loose cannon just taking me down.
Yeah, so you guys both have your fundraisers to go to i55, so we'll let you have a little appeal to the people watching. We've got a big audience here for you to try and take some money out of their wallets and use it for a brilliant cause here for i55. Or flip it over to the TLR guys first, who need slightly less money just to get one of their crucial players who performed incredibly well. Sell it to us then. Sell Shadowburn to us.
But that posted his rights in Steam. Go P! Thanks for that. But yeah, we need... the original goal was basically 1500 to get Shadowburn, Nico and the AMS at LAN, and cover like any costs that might arise from rentals and accommodations. And at the moment, like, as long as we hit 1500, we're pretty much solid. If we go a bit above that, that means that Nico and me will probably not have to camp. And that kind of also depends on like what TLR will bring us in the end. Like, we're not really sure if we get a PC deal from them, then we probably have enough with 1500 to get us into a hotel. Otherwise, we're kind of looking to get a little bit more, but that will kind of come up in the upcoming weeks, I think. We haven't really discussed it much yet.
Just to take over from P, we kind of originally come up with 1500, and there's been sort of like a few costs, like with like Shadowburn's visa, for example. We didn't realise how much that was going to cost, and we don't know where we stand with PC rentals. So we kind of need to hit that as a minimum to make sure we can get everybody over, especially Shadowburn and Nico. But no, like I say, really appreciate all the donations so far. That everyone like kind of supporting us and whatnot. And we've had some pretty big ones. And obviously, our top donator right now is Shit Wizard on €300. So thanks for the generosities, and hope it was a good game.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal game, and shout out to all the people still donating as well. I can see the recent donator Trin with €10. Thank you for that. Keep them coming in as well for TLR, because they definitely need. Everyone needs to see Shadowburn at LAN, man. I'm so hyped for that. It'd be phenomenal. Everyone in chat's going wild for Shadowburn interview as well, but I don't think it's happening. I think he's. Is he not wanting to come? I can see him muted and deafened down there, but I'll leave that to the TLR guys if they want to bring him in. The chat demands it. In the meantime, they'll flip it over to TheFragile and get him to sell his team Ascent, who are the current leaders in ESEA. That's a bit of a difference since the last time we talked.
Yeah, we're really trying to go hard and improve as much as we can. As I said last time, we still have a lot of improving to do on certain maps and in certain parts of our gameplay. But we're really hyped to go to i55, and we're almost there. We're like $426 or $16, so roughly $400 away. And yeah, there's only 60 hours left. Yeah, so any and all donations again are extremely appreciated, and we're almost there. And yeah, we're just really thankful for as much money has been raised so far. So we're really looking forward to everything.
Absolutely, it'll be phenomenal to have you guys LAN as well. And people, check out the go to i55.tf and then actually click on the fundraisers, the direct links, and you can have a look. Oh no, the perks are actually on that page as well, so you don't even need to look anywhere else. i55.tf is your hub for those perks. If you have to scroll down and just see what is on offer, you can get things back for donating. You don't have to just do it out of the goodness of your heart. I mean, they've got team posters, demo reviews, outro credits, team jerseys, casting your game, signed posters, signed jerseys, all sorts of wonderful things being put up there from Ascent and from TLR as well. There's some brilliant perks, raffles, MGE with the players, mixing with the mentoring and demo reviews, casting again. So fantastic stuff from both of these teams being put up there. So have a look, donate as much as you possibly can, please, to get these guys over. I've already donated a ton to these guys because I'm so hyped to have them over. It's just going to be phenomenal stuff. Let's have a listen to what the TLR guys think about Ascent then, because we kind of heard last time in the show match the Ascent breakdown of the teams, how they thought everyone would stack up against each other, but we haven't heard the TLR frame of mind. Where do you think you guys are going to be placed? Who do you think is going to be your best opponents? Give us a rundown of i55.
I don't know. We're going for the win, and I think we can beat Ascent on 0 ping. No offense, but you have to say it. But they play pretty much like if you watched, especially the older season here in Europe. I think like the players are pretty much par on par with them, and it would have really been interesting to see them in a show match. But then they decided to kick off their roster and go underground instead. So sadly we couldn't see that. But I think like it's not a play style that will surprise us. And besides that, like we already do demo reviews and like check footage of the teams we're playing against in Europe, and we'll do the same for Americans over summer, so we'll be ready for anything to throw at us.
Yeah, we feel like out of all the teams that are around right now, we're kind of got some of the least experienced players at this level, so in a couple of months' time we should be ready to take these guys on and go and win LAN. Like we feel really super confident that we can go and do it on our day, and especially with Shadowburn coming over, playing on a good ping. He plays on 60 hertz right now. We'd love to see him on 120 or 144 hertz as well. Like we fancy our chances.
All right. Well, there you have it. Hopefully we'll get you guys over there, play some good games there. And on the same note, there, I want to ask some of you guys over on Ascent here. What do you think about the whole event? Think about your opponents today that you had to go up against. How they compare to maybe the last team that you played.
Rando or Mela?
Oh,
you take it. I don't want to.
Mela, are you here?
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
I don't know. It felt like playing the team we played before. It was like the same thing, except soldiers doing weirder stuff. That was the only difference. Their soldiers rocket jumped. Nerd Rage's soldiers don't rocket jump ever. That was the biggest difference, but it felt like playing the same team.
Okay, all right. Well, there you have it. You know, any other comments you guys want to get out there? I mean, I know we're gonna be. Well, I know I personally have to head out here shortly. I know Sideshow is gonna be back in just a second. But anything else you guys want to get out there? Let the masses know about the upcoming event. You know, anything in particular? Or... That's for either team, by the way, too.
I've seen, like, I went to the original LAN where guys come over, and obviously it's 2-1 to NA right now. Like, we feel like it's going to be. This is probably, for me, looking at the last LANs, going to be one of the most interesting, where we again have possibly 5 or 6 teams that can go and win. So obviously it'd be great to get everybody there. And thanks obviously to Peck Time, who just donated €10 towards our fundraiser.
Awesome.
Shameless.
Shameless. Oh man, well.
Yeah, only $400 or less than that actually needed for the Ascent fundraiser right now. It would be so brilliant if we could have this done and wrapped up by the end of this show match. Only $400 left. We've got way more people than that in chat, guys. If you could just all donate even a single dollar, $2, whatever you can afford. I mean, that's nothing. That's loose change. You would lose that under a sofa and not even think twice about it. So come on, if you can just pull the cobwebs out from beneath your wallets, you know, shake off the dust and see if we can boost them over that $6,000 mark. And for TLR as well, they're creeping up towards their target. They only really need 140 more, really. And Shadowburn will be yours to witness at i55. We'll be doing interviews with him there. In fact, at i55, we've got a big production idea. Herr P's just linked a little chat log as well in chat. I'm very shy. I can't even do interviews on Russian. Bless him. But we will be trying to get interviews with him at i55 in person, get him on the camera, get his opinions and get his backstory as well. So we've got a big plan for the production at i55, including these kind of professional interviews as well, like you saw in the documentaries and stuff. So we need him there, though. We need him there.
Yeah, I gotta finish it off, man. We're so close on every front here, and I'll just go ahead and read off a couple of more donations that came through on both ends here, because we have been getting some more here. So since the last time I did, I think the last one I read off was 6v6 Enthusiast, who gave $7. So just a little while ago, we had Raft Test, or something like that. I hope I'm saying that right, but he gave a $10 donation. Bell 10 Bros. That's a $7 donation from him. Big Ari gave a $20 donation. David Green, 1993, with a $20 donation. Yeah, Lyreeks, something of that sort, $7 donation. And we also had an anonymous donation of $25 as well. That's all over to the Ascent fundraiser there. Big shout outs to everybody who donated there.
Ari and Benjamin Hogan just donated $50 each. That's super awesome.
Whew! Wow, look at this guy. Ari coming through again with $50. That's 70 total from him, at least within the past like half an hour or so. So big shout out to him. And of course, Benjamin Hogan as well, $50 from him. Thank you so much, guys. That's going to a fantastic cause here. So definitely keep pounding that down. i55.tf, guys. Check it out. Get these guys there. We're so close, and 58 hours left.
While we wait for these donations to rattle in, as I'm sure they are, let's have a talk about Froyotech. So they've recently stabilized their roster a little bit. They've got Ash in on Pocket. What do you guys think about that? We'll flip it over to Rando and Mailer. What do you think? Are you scared of Ash?
I mean, Ash is really good, but I think he's almost undoubtedly better at Roamer than Pocket, at least right now. I don't think he's ever played Pocket for any of the iterations of Street Hoops, which is the only other team he's been on, I think. I think they would have been probably better off if they kept Servo and let him get back to like his full potential, which he was at when he played in like season 15 or 16, when he used to be really good, and he just hasn't played forever. So I think it's kind of silly that they got rid of him, but Ashe is just pretty consistently good, so I don't know, it's still a downgrade from Lansky, but I mean Ashe will probably be fine. I don't think he'll be amazing, but he'll be good.
We also think that if Froyo beat us on Sunshine instead of us beating Froyo, we kind of think that Servo would still be on the team. But because we beat them, and at the same time Servo didn't do necessarily too well in that match, we feel like that had a lot of it. Like we said that prior to the match, and it's unfortunate because we were really looking forward to meeting Servo. But I mean, we're all really good friends with Ashe too.
Yeah, so you guys think it was a bit of a rash decision to cut Servo? Do you think that was a direct result of losing to you guys on Sunshine?
I don't know. We can't know.
It's hard to it's hard to say.
Everyone can speculate, but
we think it certainly has something to do with it, but I don't know.
And so, in general, you reckon he's a bit of a downgrade compared to Servo, and a fairly large downgrade compared to Lansky, but he's going to fit into the team fairly well. Do you think that's really going to cripple them for LAN?
I don't think so. And I think right now, like this very instant, if Froyo were to play with Servo and Ashe is better than Servo right now. But I think had they kept Servo, it would have been better in the long term. So I don't know, that's just my opinion, but I think Ashe will also get better too on Pocket, since he's never played it before. He can really only improve, I guess. So.
Wouldn't it, sorry for kind of axing my way in here, but wouldn't it kind of make sense though, like going with a more roamer-styled guy and kind of turning him into a Pocket for their team, considering that Lansky, at least from like my experience of watching them, and the brief experience of playing them at i52, went way more roamery than Pockety. Like bringing Servo in maybe it's like farther away than going with Ashe instead.
Yeah, that could be true. Because Lansky did use gunboats like 90% of the time. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think going from roamer to Pocket in Ashe's case, especially if he runs gunboats, it'll probably not. It won't be too hard of a transition for him. He just has to be a tiny bit less aggressive. So again, right now, Ashe is still fitting in, but I think he and the rest of Froyo will be ready by the time i55 comes.
Yeah, they're going to be certainly stepping things up. I think they're going to be getting more and more serious the closer it gets to LAN, and of course they haven't been beaten at a LAN for quite some time. A shout out to TLR will win i55, who just donated $20 to the Ascent fundraiser.
Thank you.
An optimistic, probably EU donator there, who's going to throw in $20 to get Ascent over. Thank you very much for your donation. On the other side, some of the recent TLR donators are... I've just been sent a new link with some new ones. So we've got Sibos with €10, Jan with 2, Ari with €50 to the TLR fundraiser. Big thanks and shout out to Ari. You guys did so much, and he's really generous as well. And High Tech as well with a $10 donation. Thank you very much to all of these people donating to get these players to LAN. How close are we now? Then we must be creeping our ways there. It surely is just ticking down the money until we've reached our totals. Only my mental maths is appalling. $234 needed for the Ascent fundraiser, and if I scroll down, $133 needed. Oh, euros, sorry.
Actually, only 80 because the Ari one hasn't been counted yet on the page.
The Ari one hasn't even been counted yet.
I want to do a special shout out to Oathmeal, who donated 30, and with the message, please ask Gecks to stop calling Herr P herpes. But I'm used to it, so I don't really take offense anymore.
Oh, bless you. Bless poor little Herr P. I want to ask you whether you think going 23 for 20 is reasonable with 6.7 thousand heals on a map, Herr P.
Yeah, maybe shut up. Ping. But yeah, my ping is like between like 50 and 90 when I play normal servers. So like the ping variance when it's around like when I start at 130 and go up to 190, like it's different between not really noticing it and being unable to do anything.
What do you guys think then about, or actually to start off that question, the Sunshine heals were distributed very oddly. You had Heist sitting on around 30%, and then Herr P, then both of your soldiers, and then your roamer, I think, sat at the bottom somewhere with amps. So was that a conscious decision? Was that something to do with the ping? Is that just your style of play now?
Which map was that?
That was the first map, Sunshine.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much... like our heal order is pretty much like if we hit 22 on everybody, we're kind of happy because Amps makes space. I move in it, and then he's kind of comes backing up behind that. But I build a lot too, so that kind of
way
inflates
more
it.
importantly, you guys just hit your goal.
Yeah, big shout out to Dashner for giving the last 80.
Oh wow, the last $80 there. Oh, big plays by Dashner with the 80 euro donation. 1,507. There you go, TLR out of the park. Fantastic stuff. So now we just need to work on Ascent.
Yep, our turn. Let's go, boys.
Let's go, boys. How much do you need? You need, you still need that $234. It's so little that you now require 96% of the way there. Only the 4% left. So close. Let's see if we can do it before we end this out. Fragile, Rando, Mela, you've played against some of the European teams, and you notice that they play a slightly different style, maybe using some gimmicks, as they've been called. Do you feel like there is a big difference in style? Are you going to have to do a lot of research? Is it going to be completely different?
There is definitely a difference. I don't know. Like the Euros, they try to back cap, as Banny would say, and I just wanna play straight up, sticks out, just go at each other.
We kept going for backups just to kind of spite Banny a bit at the end of Sunshine. Like, oh, should we fight here? No, let's go for the backup again, like for the 4th time in a row or something.
I think that was that the only round that Epsilon got in the grand final as well, was just Kyler hiding in panic room and then backcapping as well. Yeah, so is that something you're consciously going to be having a look at? Are you going to be reviewing ETFL demos or scrims or something?
Yeah, we'll be reviewing, various kinds of matches that they play. I mean, anytime we push out or in whatever scenario, we always try to be mindful of the backup. We always try to send people different ways, but I guess we got a little bit careless a few times there, which resulted in us losing rounds. I think there was even one time where we got a backup or two on them. But yeah, we'll be reviewing demos, and we just don't want to be surprised when we go to LAN. We don't want to like lose a map or even a match and go, well, had we known that they were going to try to pull whatever they tried to pull, the outcome would have been different. So yeah, we want to be as prepared as possible.
Absolutely, that's a good way of looking at it. And in terms of ESEA as well, you guys surely going to be wanting to hold on to your first place with the beating of Froyotite. Do you think you can hold on to that?
Yep.
Supremely confident.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few teams. I mean, there's Street Hoops, which they have a lot of weird roster issues right now. But I mean, we can't sleep on all the invite teams too hard. So as long as we play our game, we'll be fine.
Big shout out to Master Noob and Hildreth, who've just donated $40 and $5 respectively. Big thanks to them. That's pushed the donation total at the moment for Ascent up to $5,811 US. So they only need a tiny little bit more, less than $200 required for them to get over their target. 97% funded now. It's absolutely so close. So let's see if we can get that done. It's just nipple hairs away, as Seabear would have said, or Bloodsire. It was somebody coined the phrase and somebody else stole it. I remember them talking about it a while back. But yeah, big thanks to all the people who have donated so far. TLR guys, you have a lot of new players who haven't played at the top of the scene for very long, or certainly haven't played on LAN very often, if at all. Do you think that the LAN atmosphere is going to be something that you're going to have difficulty coping with?
I don't think so. Like, I think like the big two, I guess, or actually the big three. Actually, I forgot to think about Serotown, who I think has been to like the summer series, but I'm not sure. But Nico has like lots of LAN experience, even more than me, from like the French scene and all their LANs. And I'm being told in chat that there's the big hundo to Ascent. I'm guessing it's the big 100.
Ari, you're too nice, dude. Oh my goodness.
Oh, just the loveliest gamer in the world there. Ari with another $100. It's only $89 required. I think, I can't even do the mental maths, but I'm sure if you put some amount of cents into the donation now, if everybody in chat just put in a few cents, just dribbled away their spare change, you would have enough. So yeah, it's so incredibly close now. Let's boost it over the line without bankrupting Ari. So you were saying, yeah, that Nico has the LAN experience from France, and so who were you? Who were the big three? Serotonin.
Yeah, I think it's like Serotonin, and Shadowburn. Really, like none of them have been at least at any prominent LANs. I don't think that Shadowburn has been to any. But Serotonin has some experience and is like basically a wonder kid anyway. You don't really notice the fact that this is like his first prem season, because he does like he makes like mistakes sometimes, but he makes so much right to make up for it. So I think like the big two to look for is just how Ams and Shadowburn would play on a LAN, and hopefully that I won't choke this LAN either.
Yeah, I think people possibly give your team a bit of unfair stick for being the chokers in Europe, but that title firmly. I know, I do, but that title is firmly held by Reason at the moment, and they need to prove us wrong. Of course, they have some players without the LAN experience as well. Captain, Happy Cool, neither of them have attended a LAN before, and Cadus's LAN teams always seem to choke, although Cadus himself doesn't, but there must be some kind of factor at play there. Maybe Cadus is a toxic gamer and causes everybody around him to choke. But you guys in America really, do you think you have a big advantage given that your entire season, or apart from this one, of course, but all the previous seasons have been geared up towards LAN, and all the best players are all LANable, and that's kind of what you go as a target towards?
I mean, it can be. It depends more on just the individual players and less on the LAN experience and like how comfortable they are with being at LAN. Because there's still players that have been to almost every ESCA LAN, but still perform worse on LAN than online. So it's more about the player, I think. But I don't know, if they're comfortable and confident, then it doesn't really make a difference. Like at the last ESCA LAN, I remember a lot of the people on Mad Men who had never been to LAN before, who were crazy online, they just completely fell apart at LAN. So I mean, that can always happen, but I don't know. If your team is confident, then I don't think it's really a problem. If you just don't think about being on LAN, then it's never a problem.
Another $20 donated from Como Rebi. So we are $69 away.
What a number.
Somebody has got to take the opportunity there to donate $69 to the Ascent fundraiser, surely. A shout out as well to TF2 Pickup for providing the unusuals for the raffles. That's tf2pickup.net, which is one of the biggest pickup sites for Europe at the moment, so big shout out to them. Thank you for providing those unusuals for the raffles, and keep the money coming in, guys. We're so close now. 69, it's so close. I'm sure whoever that was did it completely on purpose just to make that the amount that was left over. Who then, if I had to ask you, Heist and TheFragile, the two leaders of these teams, who do you think are your biggest opponents? Who do you think is the teams that you're most concerned about at i55?
You can go first, Ice.
To be honest, I think it's Froyo Tech, but I think like what you were talking about before with their sort of like LAN seasons almost, that they do come in with like a small advantage. I don't think it's that as big as it's maybe made out to be, but I think Froyo Tech is probably the team that are there to put a mark down on it, and they have players that, in a way, I won't say you would fear, but you would be mindful of playing against, like your Clockworks and your Bannies and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's honestly anyone's game, even down to like what some people would say would count out, which is Dogs as well, depending how they progress over the next couple of months. So I honestly believe there's no clear standout performer, but I think that we could be quite a big dark horse because we've got 2 months extra to sort of play with each other and we have kind of the most to gain and the biggest kind of I don't know what I'm trying to say, but we could rectify a lot of mistakes and correct a lot of things that would improve our performance a lot. Where some of the guys that just have a lot of experience, I don't know where they can go from where they are right now.
And what about you guys then?
I guess it would be Nerd Rage. Just because like they've been, well, I mean, at least to me, I guess it's Nerd Rage. Not necessarily because we lost the show match against them, but like they're a little bit I don't want to say they're overrated, but like when I say they're hyped up, I don't want to say that they're overrated, but it's I guess you know they're going into, I mean all 3 European teams going into this are going to be very difficult to beat. So I mean, but okay, here's how I look at it. Like, if you're a top team going into this event, and there's like 6, maybe even 7 or 8 top teams going to this event, you have to be going into this thinking that you can beat everyone. Like, why? If you're a top team, you have to be supremely confident.
Absolutely.
So, like, that's the thing. Like, every team has to go into the match thinking like, we can't respect these guys. Like, we have to respect them in the sense that, like, you know, that they're you know, they're skilled, but we can't just like respect them all the time.
No respect to everyone.
So, like, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting.
Oh, and with that, at the end there, Brian Figuero donating $20 and Ari with another $50 donation to boost you guys over the line there with $6,001 donated, raised by 150 people in 28 days. Thank you so much to everybody who's donated. We've reached the goal, boys.
You guys are so ridiculously awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much to everyone who's donated. We really appreciate it.
A big shout out to Ari as well, who has donated tons and tons to these fundraisers. Thank you very much for that, and all of the top donators, and in fact everybody who donated. Thank you very much for giving what you could to these guys. To see them play at i55 will be absolutely fantastic. There is a stretch goal that I should mention that is $6,400, which covers the Indiegogo fees. Otherwise, I think somebody behind the scenes is going to be covering that cost. So it would be nice if they didn't have to. If we can get to 6,400, I'm not saying now, but at some point, that if we could make it to 6,400 as a stretch goal, that would be fantastic to avoid that person having to pay out of pocket. The TLR guys as well were saying that they might be running into some extra costs, but for now, I think just a big thank you to everybody who's donated, and congratulations to both of the teams who will now be attending.
Woo!
Woo! Hype! Woo. Yeah, so as well, there is the TFTV production fundraiser, which I think is going to be going live tomorrow. I think I need to just have a look at what Dashin has sent me. Yeah, a TFTV production fundraiser going up, likely to help fund production at i55 and get some personnel there. There are a few Americans coming over. We need some PCs and things. We've got some people giving their spare PCs, things like that, monitors, etc., in order to bring you guys the best coverage we possibly can. We want it to be better than i52. i52 was so good in terms of coverage. I think just as I was mainly spectating it, I wasn't really even involved in the production at all. I only casted one game, but it was just a phenomenal event to watch, and the crowd cam and the amazing interviews with some of the players, and then all of the behind the scenes work and the outro. It was just fantastic. So they're going to be doing that. I think Deshan says he's going to be putting it up tonight with a goal of around $1,000 over the next over the period of time leading up to i55, which is going to be in, is it exactly 2 months now? Yeah, you guys have got about 8 weeks to get your stuff sorted and become the best teams in the world.
Yeah, thank you to Team Fortress TV as well for putting on this event and helping us to raise the money that we needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout outs to those guys, because they've been working tirelessly all throughout this, and to like promote the production fundraiser. Like those guys put in so much work and really don't get compensated for it. And like, I don't know, especially Dashner, he is one of the hardest working people, arguably the hardest working person in TF2.
Absolutely.
And you know, just helping him and the rest of the guys out, getting there, and you know, just getting them there without causing too much of a burden on their pockets. It's infinitely grateful.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic stuff. And again, shout out to everybody who's donated. Thank you so much for doing that. Do we have any shout outs then before we wrap it up? I know you've just shouted out some people. Anybody else from anyone who hasn't spoken before we wrap up this second show match?
I can start from the top, I guess. But shout outs to Nuck because he asked me to, and Sil because he joined our Mumble like the second that Ams got his computer to work and connected to the server. Sil connected to our Mumble and was like, "Yeah, can I merc? And we just had to tell him no to his face. So he deserves at least a shout out for that.
Bless his poor little heart.
Yeah, shout out to obviously TLR for the support. Obviously, we're hoping to have a full lineup there. It should be a fantastic event. Thanks very much for the generous donations, guys. Teamfortress.tv, serveme.tf, tf2pickup.net, obviously all of TLR's sponsors, Netgear, FSP, and the likes. So thanks very much.
Shout out to everyone who donated today, and shout out to everyone who's just donated overall to get my team, Friotech, and TLR to the event. And yeah, you guys are really awesome. And of course, shout out to all cats.
Absolutely. Rando or Mailer, any final shout-outs before we disappear from the airwaves?
Just again, shout out to everyone that is helping us to be able to go. Shout out to Dashner and all the people working the event, and for everything Dashner is doing to help us. And it was just a good game. It was a fun game, and for what it's worth, I agree. I think you guys are not only the dark horse, but I think your team and Froyo, since I didn't get to answer their question, are the teams that I'd be scared of the most, because I think you guys have the most like explosive potential, if you know what I mean. Like just really good DMers, and so I don't know. You guys just really good, and it was fun.
Yeah, didn't have a chance to say it, but GG.
Yeah, excellent stuff there. So, just before we disappear, I will leave you with some whisperings of not so much gossip, just things on the wind, that there might possibly be some kind of European Invitational Cup just before i55 for you to get your teeth into, guys. So the playoffs are coming up for ETF2L as well. There's still ESEA matches. Tomorrow is Nerd Rage against TLR as well, I believe. So yeah, TLR against Nerd Rage. So that's going to be a phenomenal match as well. That's on Granary and Sunshine as well, isn't it, guys? So you're getting in a bit of your practice now. So that's going to be phenomenal, and I am so hyped for the next few months. The next 2 months are just going to be the best times ever for TF2. It's just going to be amazing. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in and for donating to the fundraisers. This has been the second NA versus EU show match for i55. It was TLR versus Ascent. Thanks for stopping by.